Okay, we back, y'all. Sorry about that. We're just gonna take it old school Facebook Live. I feel like maybe we were trying to do too much, and we've cut basically 45 minutes off of our time, by one, for being tardy, and then by two, doing all the techie stuff, which we were kind of playing around with. But no worries, we're gonna figure it out. We're just not gonna figure it out during the time that we're supposed to be chatting with you guys. So sorry about that. Yeah, come on in. Come on in. Make sure you guys tag all of your friends. Let's get this conversation going. Okay. Let's get the conversation going. London. Thank you, Drea. We appreciate you so much. I'm trying to do the entire most. And the thing about it is, we just need to let it do what it do. But y'all know how we go. Hey, boss. What's up? Thank you for rejoining us. I appreciate all of y'all for your patience and time. We're still trying to figure all this stuff out. Yeah, come on in. Come on in. Make sure you're using the hashtag conversations with the Shondas, hashtag the Shondas. Tag all your friends, tag your bestie, tag everybody. Tag some men in here. I see bosses in here. So I want you to we're gonna ask you some stuff. So I'm just waiting for my friend Rashonda to rejoin us so that we can get both the Shondas on here. Just waiting for her to come and join us. Ooh, there she go. You here? Okay, I'm trying to. You might have to send me a request because it's not recognizing that you're on, Rashonda. Let's get these numbers up, y'all. Make sure you're liking and sharing the feed. There we go. There we go. I see y'all tagging some people. Keep on tagging them. Thank you, Andrea. Tag all our people. Hey, Katrina Hamilton. How are you? Thank you for joining us. We're going to have a great conversation tonight. Y'all come on in. Make sure you're tagging everybody. Tag your friends in. This is the conversation, social media, and your relationships. Make sure you're using the hashtags tonight. Hashtag conversations with the Shondas. Hashtag the Shondas. Hey, Twanisha. Yes. There goes Nelly. Hey, Nelly, girl. You had some good insight on Tuesday, Nelly. Listen, when we got into that thing about how people like to talk, like to post about somebody's passing on social media, and they don't even give the family chance to do it. That was good. Okay, let me see if I can add Rashonda. Rashonda, send me a request. Yeah, we were trying to be fancy. There goes Erica. Hey, Erica. All right, yeah. Okay, there we go. I see the request, Rashonda. I'm going to add you now. Keep on tagging everybody. Make sure y'all using the hashtags. Put the hashtag in the comments, and that'll help with the algorithm for Facebook. So put in there hashtag. Thank you for coming back, Erica. I appreciate it. We appreciate it. Okay, there we go. Okay, Rashonda's getting ready to join us. See my big teddy bear? This is my Valentine's Day gift. My husband got me. Every time I get on Zoom, somebody asks me about it. Woo, woo. Hey, girl, hey.
Hey, girl, hey. They don't want us to be tonight. What's going on?
Listen, don't worry. I'm going to do a little trick that my mama taught me whenever she was trying to get ready for Sunday. She would only do this on Sundays. we'll be trying to get ready for work, or not get ready for church, and she'll drop something on her clothes, or she'll do so. She'll be like, "Devil, get out my way! Devil, get out my way!" My
Get out
mom
my
used to do
way,
that
devil.
all the
Get out my way.
Get out my way, devil! Get out of my way! But we showed up in church regardless.
I know that's right.
So we got to treat this exactly the same, and that is, devil, get out of our way.
That's
Because whatever you're trying to stop, this train is still in motion.
yeah, this train gonna keep on rolling.
Keep
This train gonna keep on rolling. You know, my body
gonna keep
tried
on-
to like shut down on me earlier. I nicely went and got up in that shower. I was like, devil, you a liar.
That's right. Won't I mean, and sometimes we do need to listen to our bodies, and sometimes we just need to, you know, just like shock it and be like, hey, come on,
Yeah,
come on.
come on.
Oh, look, you see Rashonda? Dr. Matt is back.
Oh. Let me log in from my other device because I can't see much of nothing going on over here.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, come on in, y'all. Come on in. Make sure you use the hashtags conversations with the Shondas. Conversations has an S. Shondas has an S. Hey, Nikesha. Hey, girl. Hey, that's one of my College of Charleston people. Hey, girl.
Hey,
We
girl,
talking
hey.
about social media and your relationships.
Shonda, can you go take the other one down or just hide it just so it don't confuse people?
Okay, let me see. Yeah, let me do it on the laptop. Since everything is good, the audio is good. Y'all can see the back of my house, but it's all right.
Right, it's all good.
Yeah. All right. So I'll take that one down. Y'all get those numbers back up.
Because
Make sure y'all
75
liking.
views is over there on the other one. So I don't know if they current views, but it shows that 75 people already logged in over there. So
Yeah. All right. So y'all make sure y'all tagging y'all people. Tarinthia, you still hanging out with us? Because we gonna need you in a minute. You and Dr. Matt, we gonna need y'all in just a second. Like I'm sitting there. Why if I can't add nobody else, why is it telling me to bring them on camera? Okay, now see, there goes the devil again. But what's about to happen is I'm about to fix you up, devil. I'm about to fix you up right and fine. So people are going to continue to trickle on in. So we're going to go ahead and get started. What I was saying, maybe I should just restate it because, you know, that other live I'm going to take down in just a few minutes. When we were trying to do through Google Meet and everything. But y'all welcome. Thank y'all for rocking with us for these past 2 weeks. This is our 2-week anniversary. We have, well, not our 2-week anniversary. We have done 4 lives in total. We've done Tuesday and Thursday of last week, Tuesday of this week, and tonight will be our 4th one. So essentially, we've done 2 full weeks of lives, and you guys have been continuing to rock with us. So we definitely appreciate that. The conversations are going to move forward. Last week, we were talking about what we wish we knew about life. We did part 1 and part 2. Part 1 was on Tuesday, and part 2 was on Thursday. If you want to go back and review that, make sure you do. Monday, we started with the conversation that we're going to finish off tonight, which is social media and your relationships. Continue to like the feed, share the feed with your friends, tag your homegirl, your homeboy. Make sure when you tagging them, you're also putting in the hashtag conversations with the Shondas, hashtag the Shondas. And I am going to let my friend Rashonda remind you guys of some of the points that she was making in reference to managing those relationships, whether it be romantic or otherwise.
all right, let's get started. Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to give a quick recap of what we talked about on last night before last, excuse me, we discussed social media and your relationships. And I just wanted to kind of go over a few of the definitions that we use to define the words that we're going to go deep on tonight. And one was relationship. Relationship is the way in which two or more concepts, objects, or people are connected. Okay, covenant relationships. All right, and that could be both platonic or romantic. That could be both platonic or romantic. Intention is an aim or a plan. An intention is an aim or a plan. All right, and then purpose. Purpose is the reason why something is done or created for which something exists. Again, purpose is the reason why something is done or created for which something exists. Then we define social media. Social media, I simply put it in layman's terms as a marketplace. And it's a marketplace platform that we can use to socialize. We can use it for entertainment. We can use it for inspiration. We can use it for educational purposes, etc. Okay, that's just a quick overview of the words that we define, which is relationship, intention, purpose, and then we also define social media. Now, to begin with, there was a lot of comments that were shared in the last live. One of the things was, why do people get on social media? We had people say for entertainment. We had people say for business or branding. Some people said to be social. Some people said for education. And so we asked the question, why do you get on social media? Because it's important to know why you're here. It will determine your outcome. If you're coming for entertainment, you're going to be entertained. If you're coming to be educated, you're going to go in those areas for education. If you're coming to just be social, you're going to just do that. Again, I stated that some people take this arena as an entertainment piece. And if they take it as an entertainment piece, they're not looking at this platform to be a place of, where they might want to, have serious conversation, although it may happen. But if your primary reason is coming for entertainment, it lets me know you want to be entertained. If your primary reason is coming to be social, then obviously you're going to be social when you get on social media. If you're coming for business, you're going to be networking with other business people or other like-minded potential entrepreneurs to find resources and tools and strategies for your business. Some people may just come on here because they're able to connect with their high school, college alumni team, or their college alumni, or you may come because you want to get with some of your classmates from high school or elementary school, people you haven't seen in a long time. You may be connecting with family that's long distance, etc. You just need to know what your purpose is for coming. Then we talked about posting your location, using more instinct about making people aware about where you're going. For instance, if you're heading somewhere by train or plane or by bus, or even if you're driving in your car, sometimes, and we don't think about it, and this is not a judgment zone, we're just helping people to be aware and cautious. You may get on a flight and you may say, I'm going from Orlando, Florida to Bowman, South Carolina, although there's no airport in Bowman, realistically, Charleston or Columbia. But, you know, just be cautious about letting people know your every move. Shonda made a point about, you know, a lot of times she doesn't like to post about where she's going until after she's already been there and gone. If you're going to, so you want people to know that you visited somewhere, maybe that's a strategy that you could use. Did you want me to keep going, or did you just kind of want to?
Yeah, I mean, we can, you know, back and forth. I think wisdom is what we were alluding to, is using wisdom when you're using all of these platforms, because while you think it may be benign, you know, we have seen in social media, we have seen in the world where, you know, somebody goes live or somebody, you know, posts something and somebody zooms in and looks at, you know, the address on your mail or the address on your box. Like, I think that's what happened to Pop Smoke, the rapper. Is somebody saw his address on his box and came to his door and killed him. So, you know, you got to be careful about what you share on social media. And the reason we wanted to talk about these subjects, social media and how it affects relationships, is because all of us have different purpose. All of us have different intentions for being on social media, right? I told you guys that I have been on social media since before Facebook was even big. I was on social media. Let me say, I was on Facebook when Facebook was only for college students. So you had to have an edu at the end of your email address to even qualify to get on Facebook. And then a few years ago, it was open to everyone. And now there's ads everywhere. There's all sorts of groups and things like that. When it used to be that the groups that you would be in would just be like your college group or your high school group, or if you added any sort of sports groups and things like that. That's really what it was about. And when you joined Facebook, what would happen is the guy, I think his name was Tom, he would send you an email or a message and say, hey, welcome to Facebook. Now anybody can join. There's multiple pages. They're scamming. People are scamming in your inbox. People are, you know, trying to get your usernames and passwords. And one of the things that we were talking about was, you know, all of these games that they play on social media where, you know, you got to there's a bunch of questions and you put the answer on. So one of the questions might be, what is your middle name? What's your sister's name? Who are you the oldest? Is there an older, you know, all these things. And really it's, you know, a ploy to get your security questions. Like y'all know, as an added security measure, a lot of these software companies and apps require you to do dual authentication. And so you not only have to put in your password, you may have to answer a security question, you know? And so when you're answering all these questions, playing these games, you're thinking that it's just a benign thing, when in reality, what it is somebody's data mining. And what they're doing is, okay, so for LaShonda, who has a kid named London, then I can never use London as my password or my security key for anything, because people know my daughter's name, right? And so also when my birthday comes, you know, we post on there, happy 40th. So people can kind of guess, okay, today is July 11th. She was born 40 years ago. So we know what year she was born. We got your entire date of birth, you know, out here. And it's just benign stuff like that where we don't even think about that people keep. But all of these apps, these social media platforms, this is data. Every time you connect your phone, every time you connect your devices to any of these social media platforms, you are exposing yourself. You have to give them permission to access your photos. You have to give them permission to access your audio, to access your speaker. And once you do that, they can do whatever they want with it. So our intent was just to make you guys aware that maybe just use a little bit more wisdom with it, but also just to have a discussion. We don't want to be too teachery on here, you know, like the point is for us to just go back and forth and have discussions about it. What else do you remember from Tuesday as well?
Okay, so we already went over posting your locations. Um, we went into relationships. We talked about acknowledging your spouse and significant other, you know, when you're out in public. And, you know, how we got to this, I think I brought up about um, a guest that we're going to be bringing on to the platform. And we brought up the fact that the gentleman had a wife, has a wife, excuse me, has a wife. And we discussed the fact that although we wanted to discuss business with him, we basically needed the wife to give us the okay, because we want to be integral in that regard. And so and just to piggyback, I had put up a post in reference to a potential
Hey,
need,
Gary.
a potential need that we had
Yeah.
for the platform. And a couple of people chimed in, and somebody chimed in about this gentleman, and he is married. And I went on this page and I realized that he was actually married to somebody that I'm acquainted with. And so I reached out to his wife. She was very, very welcoming to the conversation. She encouraged me to talk to him, but I let her know that, you know, I needed her blessings on it before I jumped in her husband's inbox.
Right.
And again, I said, even on Tuesday, women, let's not do anything that we don't want done to us. You know, that was that in a nutshell. Um, And then, you know, we even talked about social media, giving a false image, you know, in regards to having influencers or ambassadors pushing out product or services for a particular brand. And they could be appearing to have like this lavish life when in all actuality, they are just basically branding for someone and is not really living the life that they are posting to be.
Yeah.
We talked about respecting your marriage, you know, when it comes to this platform. Thank you, Erica. We talked about, you know, being able to discern even when something isn't right when it comes to the connections that you're making on social media. We're not trying to inflict fear by any means. Just like Shonda said earlier, we want to, you know, make sure that you're applying your wisdom. And wisdom basically is applied knowledge. That's what wisdom is. It's knowledge that you already know, but you're smart enough to apply it. That's wisdom. And so with that, we're just trying to make sure that you're covering your connections when you're on social media. And we talked about even people going to your friends list, going to see who you're friends with to try to, you know, infiltrate your relationships, your connections. Just be careful because we're in a season where people are out to be sabotagers. They're out to be backbiters. They have malicious intent. And we're not saying this about everybody across the board. You know, we even talked about, and this is something that will be a signature piece, and I'm sure Sean and I briefly talked about this, but later, even having some mental health experts to come on, because we are concerned about everyone's mental health, and we want to make sure that your mental health awareness is not something that is a taboo. We want it to be a very much so normal conversation. We want you to be able to tap into your feelings. We want you to be able to identify your feelings. Because a lot of times, like Shonda said on a previous I think it may have been on a previous post where live where we talked about things you wish you knew, and we talked about you know, not being able to identify the words and to identify the feelings that we were having because we just didn't have a name to put with the emotions, and a lot of times a lot of times people will even come on this social platform. You got to be in tune with your surroundings and even your covenant connections, because you could actually see people posting something, and when you look back months later, they didn't look back months prior, they posted things that led up to you knowing that they're suffering from depression, and the next thing you know, they're deceased. They've already committed suicide. You know, if we could just have a little more intentionality while we're in this space, even with your family members, don't think that you're so closely connected that you know what's going on, because trust me, if somebody is acting out, it's for a reason. Don't ever take the initiative and thought that it's not for a reason. And it might not be a mental health condition, but there's a reason. And you need to be always concerned about making sure you get to the root cause of your problem. We even talked about couples getting on here, hearting other people's posts, and the impact on that. And again, I'll repeat this and echo this again for the sake of the conversation. If your female or your male is on here hearting somebody else's stuff and you're feeling a way about that, you might want to have a conversation with your mate, because something you're lying is definitely happening. We are not clinicians. Let me put that disclaimer out there. We are not clinicians, nor do we claim to be clinicians. We do work in the medical field, but we are not in a clinician status. We are medical billers. We work in a health insurance industry, and we are knowledgeable to a degree, but we are not certified clinicians. So, and we're not going to make this conversation like we are. We're just offering advice. We're just having a conversation. And I will echo this. If you feel like you are having mental health concerns, I encourage you to get a therapist. And I'm going to openly say that I have a therapist. I'm going to openly tell you that I have a mentor, and I'm not afraid to tell you that. And as a matter of fact, some of the people that feel some type of way or have felt some type of way about me, let's just go on and thank God now that I went and got and sat on that couch, okay? Because I choose.
Okay.
Thank you, Father.
Yes.
Because
let's have a clap. Let's have a hand clap. For seeking help. Because listen, them therapists probably saved a lot of people.
I promise you. And then I didn't mess around. I wait good till I got on the therapy chair to go take boxing. But see, so yeah.
Hold on a minute. I wanna say. Oh, look, Monet said her son clap. Listen,
Carter clap. Go Carter. Carter clap for Rashawn. Yeah.
Listen, thank you, Shakina, for joining us. Monet, you said you were on the wrong one. It wasn't you, it was us. We were trying to be fancy and do something a little bit different, and it wasn't working the way that we wanted it to work. So it wasn't you, it was us. My apologies. Thank y'all for joining us. Thank you, Gwen, for saying that. We just definitely find that there are certain topics that we do need to address. Speaking of therapy, it's really taboo in Black American culture to seek therapy. And so even if you don't want to go into an office and sit on a couch, like that makes you feel some kind of way, that makes you feel crazy, don't forget that there's telehealth apps that you can utilize to be able to use that. Two of them that I know of and that I have used for sure, and I wish they would, hey, Talkspace and BetterHelp, reach out to your girl. Give me a code or something that I can, push out here. Let's get you guys to sponsor our podcast or something, because
great idea.
We always be talking about mental health.
Great idea.
Talkspace is one app. Another app is BetterHelp. So you don't have to go anywhere. You can just be on your phone or your device and connect with a certified licensed therapist. And here is something that I think that people don't utilize enough. If you are an employee at a corporation, more than likely they have EAP services, right? And so you can utilize those up to probably 4 or 5 visits and get you some therapy related to anything: marriage therapy, You know, maybe you need them to talk with your child. Maybe you need to talk with your husband. Maybe you need counseling individually. You're going through, grieving. You know, you're having a hard time getting over the passing of a family member, or you're having a hard financial time. Like, there's so many resources that are underutilized, and I believe EAP services are definitely one of them. But I wanted to
For
go
those
back.
of y'all that don't know what EAP is, it's Employee Assistance Program. Your job may or may not offer it. If you haven't heard of it, get with your HR department. The EAP services do provide you to go to therapy. I'm not sure about all health plans, but I know my employer, because I happen to work for my health insurance company, they offer 8 visits per occurrence. And just like Andrea said, you could take it virtually. I take most of mine from the comfort of my home. My initial visit, though, I did go into the office. And you don't have to go into an app, actually, to get telehealth services. Telehealth services are across the board. Most physician offices are are doing them. Just ask your doctor. Now, if you have a plan where you have a primary care provider and you need a referral for therapy, then you can ask for that. But when you call into the therapy office, you want to ask the question, do they have virtual services available for you? And you could either do telephonic. You don't have to do virtual. If you don't want to be seen and you just want to feel comfortable just doing telephonic, you can have a telephone visit. So since the pandemic, a lot has happened in the medical space. So utilize it to your advantage and don't be afraid. And just like I said on Tuesday, just like you have to maintenance your car, your car needs tires, the oil needs to be changed, and if the oil is internal and it helps the engine to keep going. So if your oil is contaminated, it can shut the whole car down. Same thing with your body. Your mental is your epicenter of your body. So if that's out of it's gonna throw the rest of your body off. So you definitely want to be in your right, healthy mental space so that the rest of your body can definitely be in line. So you will hear us talking about mental health often because we definitely echo that and we want to make it the norm.
Terenthio says he used EAP services a lot. I'm telling you guys, for each individual thing, there may be 4 to 5 visits for free. I can't say that enough. EAP services, usually like the 4 or 5 initial visits are free. Anything after that, you may have to pay some copay or something for, but EAP, check with your company. If you work for a corporation, they more than likely have EAP services. Employee assistance program services, counseling, lawyers, all sorts of things like that that you may need. And then, yes, COVID did bring a lot of these virtual services to the forefront, but in reality, a lot of this was already out there in the atmosphere before COVID. We just wasn't utilizing it as much. Now that we know and we understand that we can use a lot of virtual services and that'll save us gas, time, money, and all of these things, utilize all of that. Make sure you're going in and utilizing all that. I want to get to some of these comments too. Let me see. Gwen says, people must understand that EAP is helpful and confidential. The employer will not know what is being discussed. Unfortunately, some people think the employer will know their issues. They do not. I promise you, if my company that I work for knew what I was going to EAP services for, they would probably be like, okay, well, maybe you just need a break. You know how that lady or that man, when you're on TikTok, when you done been on TikTok too long and it's like, hey,
wow,
maybe it's time to get some water. You've been scrolling for a long time. That's what TikTok be telling me a lot of times. So they have no clue. They have no clue what you done. That's what it's there for. And I'm all about FREE. You hear me? I'm all about that. And thank you for that, Gwen. Gwen, I think, is in the field. If I'm
Awesome.
not mistaken.
We may need to bring you on, Gwen. We may need to bring you on one day and talk about some mental health. I plan on getting a therapist on here with us.
Yeah. Shakina says, it just feels so good to vent to a non-judgmental person. My life coach gives me homework to better me as a person, and I love it. Life coaches are awesome.
They are.
I know people who utilize them. Definitely you can utilize them. Andrea says, also the insurance you have with your company may have programs they offer for therapy. I did therapy through my insurance. Check it out.
That's a
You
good
guys are
idea.
paying premium. Like Rashonda said earlier, both of us are in the medical billing industry. So well, on my end, I'm from the provider side of things. And you are a liaison between the insurance company and the provider, right?
But before I
Rashonda?
got to the teaching, facilitating part, I was actually doing authorizations for, well, Florida Blue, you would go through New Direction. So we have a vendor that we have that does our mental health patients authorizations, but I'm well acquainted. You know, you don't, depending on your health insurance, may not even need a therapist. Gwen says that she's a licensed therapist in North Carolina. Okay.
Yes, Gwen.
Awesome. Do you see anyone outside of the state with the telemedicine setup, Gwen? Are you able to see outside of your state? Because you may be able to, not sure. But this is a good conversation. I know we're supposed to be talking about social media and your relationships, but I just really wanted to go over to the mental health part because I'm very, very intentional about that.
No, it's relative.
It's
relative.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people think when we're talking about social, we're just talking about apps like the Blue app or Instagram or TikTok or Snapchat or Twitter. Social media is also, being social.
Right.
So in anything, whether it's emailing, texting, all of that is being social. So those are just different platforms. We think of them in a different way, but it's applicable. It's applicable.
Absolutely.
Go ahead. What were you going to say?
That basically was it. I just wanted to echo, and again, I don't want to sound redundant, but we will be talking about mental health often because I think it's important, especially in this space. And I think it's also important for us to give people grace because you never know what they may be going through. They may come to this platform for some type of, outlet. And they may be moving a little funny in your opinion, but you never know what they may need. So just be a little more sensitive to the needs of those around you. I don't know the young lady personally, but she was a beautiful young lady. Her name was Raven. I'm not quite sure what her last name was. She committed suicide, and those that were close to her didn't even know it. And so it's important to check in with your friends, those that you are in social circles with, just to make sure that they are okay. Because a lot of times, some people may not even know how to articulate to somebody else that they either need help, that they're going through something. And it's sometimes we just need to be a little more sensitive to people, and that's all I'm saying. When it applies to that, even in your relationships. Pay attention to your mate, because sometimes you're so close into that situation until you may not even be cautious that they're going through something. So just having a little sensitivity is what I'm just echoing tonight as it pertains to social relationships.
Yeah, that's so interesting that you were just saying about even, paying attention to your spouse. I don't know if you guys know DeVal and Kadeem Ellis. They are some influencers on YouTube, but he's an ex-NFL player, and Kadeem is a makeup artist, and she's a TV personality. And so they have a YouTube channel. It's the Ellises. But anyway, I'm saying this, I'm bringing them up because when DeVal was in the NFL, he developed a addiction to pain medication. And they had been knowing each other since they were like 18 and 19. And, they didn't get married until after, he had gotten out of the NFL. But what she started to notice, because if you go watch their YouTube page and you go follow them on Instagram and different platforms, and they even have a podcast, I think it's called Dead Ass Podcast or something like that by Kadeen and Duval or something like that. Anyway, she started to notice changes in his personality. And she was just like, you know, he was snapping. He was just like unlike himself, because if you go look at him, he's a very jovial, fun. Matter of fact, you know who it is? If you guys watch Sisters on BET, he plays Zach. That's who I'm talking about. And they got a spinoff show called Zatima. So he's the guy who plays Zach. His name is Deval Ellis. Go follow them. But they have a great story because they talk about his pain medication addiction, and Kadeen just being so perceptive that she understood. She's like, nah, my baby don't act like this. Something is wrong. And so she convinced him to get help, and they are awesome. I love them. They got 4 boys. They got 4 boys now. So that was a good point that you just made, Rashonda, about just paying attention to your spouse, because if there's changes in personality, it may be something that you didn't even realize, you know?
Right.
It could be something that they're trying to cope with. And not everybody is communicative, right? But communication isn't just verbal. Communication is also body language, it's personality, it's all of the things. And so if you're paying attention to people that you're in relationship with, and I will remind you that, you know, my friend Rashonda said, it's not just even about romantic relationships. Your sister, your brother, your mother, your cousin, somebody that you are close to. You know, it doesn't even have to be anybody you're related to. It could be just somebody that you are acquainted with and you've known a long time, and you just know that this person does not act the way that they act. Maybe you should suggest therapy. And then taking it back to social media, y'all know that a lot of people utilize these apps as a means to vent. And I love the point. I just feel like we could really just talk all night long about this. A lot of people use these apps and to vent, like everything that goes on in their life, they posting about it on social media. When they get a new boyfriend, when they need to get a new girlfriend, when they break up with their girlfriend or boyfriend, when their kids acting up, when they mama acting up, when they sisters and brothers stop talking to them, all of that you can probably find on social media. And if you're a super sleuth like me, like when you start seeing people delete certain people off of their social media platforms, like on Instagram, you know, you start to see them, oh, they ain't posting their spouse in a while, something going on. And if it's somebody that means something to you, then maybe you should reach out, you know, and not on some nosy type stuff, but just some care. You know, I know Andrea is good for this. A lot of my family members are good about this. When somebody is posting something on social media, oh, here goes the family. We're like, oh, what's going on? What up? We got to fight somebody? What's going on? You know, like, and I love that.
Right. Right.
I love that. I want to catch some of, there were so many good comments on here, Rashonda. I'm trying to catch them all before it gets too crazy, because we were trying to scroll up in some of those other ones. Let me see. Okay, so I want, you said a lot of stuff. I want to go back to one of the things that you said, and that was being connected to your spouse on social media. Y'all, please post in the comments what I'm about to say. What do you guys think about spouses who are not, they're on social media, but they're not friends with each other on social media? Say, for instance, I'm on Facebook, my husband on Facebook, but we're not friends with each other on Facebook. What do y'all think about that?
I guess my first question would be is, how long y'all been together, and were y'all friends before? Were y'all friends when y'all got together on Facebook? You know what I'm saying? Or were you never friends? Some people, they get in relationships and they weren't friends prior, and they just may find it safe to not be friends because they don't want to be agitated by everything that their significant other may be putting. Because I know some people like that.
That's a great point.
So
that's a great point.
Yeah.
Because I know someone just like that. where they are not, the spouse is not their friend on social media. And for the sake of her peace, she's like, I don't want to see it because I know me. And part of this is not only just about, you know, checking for your spouse. It's about
your peace.
Self-governing, right? We talked about that. It's about knowing yourself. It's about being self-aware. And it's like, I know that it's just me. I know that I have an issue if my spouse likes a post, loves a post, always commenting on a post. So for the sake of peace in my house, I'm not going to be friends with my spouse. I know somebody just like that. That's not my ministry.
Right.
But that's other people's ministry. And it could be valid. For me, I don't judge that because it's like, whatever works for you in your house, if that keeps the peace, if that keeps you good and y'all still good, do it. Do it.
But that goes back,
tell us what y'all think.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was just saying, put in the comments what y'all think about that. What y'all think about spouses not being friends or not following each other on social media.
Well, first of all, I think that goes back to, I think I lost my train of thought.
You were saying it goes back to.
I was about to bring up something that was brought up Tuesday. Basically, your Facebook connections should have nothing to do with your relationship. And unless a Facebook connection has infiltrated some kind of way into your relationship with someone, who you're connected to on Facebook, in my humble opinion, shouldn't hold no weight, because your relationship is where the weight is at. Your relationship is where the confidence building should take place at. And your relationship is where the reassurance of your relationship should take place at. And once those foundational pieces are done, I think it will make for a better presentation on the platform of Facebook or any other social media. But if you don't deal with root cause issues of relationship, they're going to trickle over into social media.
Oh, I think my friend Tarinthia agrees with you. He said it's not that big of a deal for spouses to be friends on social media.
Hey, Dr. T.
Hey, Dr. T. Tamara Tarver is on the live. Hey, Dr. T. Let me see. Somebody said something I wanted to. Let me scroll back up. Somebody said something I want. Oh no, who was it? Was it Miss Terry?
Oh, Monet said, I am friends with my husband. However, I don't have a lot of mutual friends, so I don't see the information. Same here, Monet. And I really don't even care, because I'm not checking. I'm not even checking, because I might get over there and see something that's a trigger, like Shonda said. I'm not even going to go over there and look, because first of all, I strongly believe that my husband has enough coof and character about himself that we've already set deal breakers for our marriage. And I'm confident in the fact that he's not gonna, he's not, I'm not even concerned.
Like, that don't mean nothing. I'm not concerned. He can like whatever, he can comment whatever. He can
love them pictures from the sun up to the sundown, and I'm not gonna be bothered. It's fact.
Gwen said, do what works for your relationship and yourself. That's right. Let me tell y'all something. I don't feel like there is one blueprint for marriage. If you and your spouse have an agreement,
that's on y'all. And
y'all cool with the agreement, be free. Be free. Do whatever.
Wait a minute.
Whatever your agreement.
I gotta pause for the cause for a minute. Hold your thought. I gotta pause for the cause. I just got happy. There's another Rashonda in the audience.
No! Woo! Oh, there is. Rashonda Colbert. Hey, girl. Hey, Shonda.
Let me tag my other Rashonda. I forgot about her. Let me tag her.
Ooh, I love that. I love that. Okay, my cousin Carrie said, I feel like it's boundaries, and if your relationship is built on the right foundation, then it shouldn't be nothing behind it, as long as y'all have that agreement.
Hello.
Now, we have to live in reality. If your spouse comes to you and says, hey, I don't like when you go on there liking everybody post. What you gonna do? You gonna tell them they need to build their confidence up? You gonna tell them, I don't care what you think, I'm doing this and it shouldn't mean nothing? Is that an agreement?
But let me tell you, I'm
going to
be talking about this because remember, Mark said that unless they are his family or close family friends, he don't heart women posts. But I heart other men posts, so you know, so, and I don't feel I do.
Look at Andrea. Look at what Andrea said.
Andrea said blah.
Blah. Andrea said blah.
But they're not just any men. Like, you know, for a prime example, I don't know if my brother is on here, but my homeboy Maurice, ever since Mark and I got together, because this was one of the conversations that we had early on in our relationship about what male friends I had. And my homeboy Maurice was somebody that I considered like a brother. And Mark knew about him like day one. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm like, you calling names? No, I'm just surprised.
No, because my husband is very confident. He knows who he is, and he knows who he is to me. Okay. So I'm not but Maurice, actually, Maurice is a brother to me, and Mark knows that. Yeah. Actually, I set Maurice up with, well, I ain't set him up, but him and one of my cousins was digging each other, you know, once upon a time. But he got much respect for Mark. They haven't even met each other before yet, so I'm excited about when they do get to meet. But he's just not somebody, and I mean, Maurice has dated a few people that are acquainted with me, so there's nothing about that. But if Mark puts something up for one of his kids or something, I might heart it. You know, it all depends on what it is.
Right. But okay, so that's you and Mark. But I'm saying, for the sake of this discussion, if your partner were to come to you and say, I don't like, now let's take it to you. You said Mark don't like other people posts or whatever, right? He don't, unless it's friends or family.
What I said was, and this is what he said. He said that he doesn't heart other women posts unless they are family or somebody like family, close, you know, somebody he's known maybe from childhood. Because Mark had female friends before I came into the picture. You know, I haven't asked him to dissolve all of his female friends, and he haven't asked me to dissolve all of his male friends, but he know how to compartmentalize them, and so do I. And until it becomes a problem, it's not a problem.
When that day comes, not when, if that day comes, and he says, I don't want you out here hearting and liking, what you gonna do?
Hey, I'm gonna stop, because my marriage means more to me than any friendship, and that's on period.
Right. But what if somebody out here, I'm talking about Jane and John, let's say Jane tells John, I don't like you liking other people's posts, especially no women, and especially if they scantily clad. I don't like that. Don't do that. And then John says, well, that means you're insecure. You need to not be insecure. You need to have some more confidence about you. I'm with you. I come home to you every night. So what's the problem? Is that an agreement, or is that a problem?
Well, I don't have enough information to make a qualified decision on that.
With the information that you have. What do you think of
what John is saying to Jane? Because if John feels like she's been insecure, and he has more private information about Jane than I do, maybe Jane does have an insecurity issue, or maybe John is gaslighting her, and maybe he's had issues with females before, and her insecurities, quote unquote, could be coming from his previous actions. But I can't make a qualified answer based off of just what you say, because I'm gonna dig deep. I'm not gonna form an opinion based on what's here. I gotta dig a little deeper to get a qualified answer, and I don't have enough information to qualify that.
For me, it's simple. If your spouse has a problem with whatever, however you move it on social media, then it's a discussion that y'all need to have. That's not an agreement. For me, that's not an agreement. Because if your spouse has a problem, then you got a problem. Your spouse got a problem, you got a problem. And
well, I'm looking at this question two different ways. Are you asking me for a resolve or asking me how would I approach it? Because I'm
no, I'm saying how would you feel? I'm saying how would you feel? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do about it? You said you, but I'm saying not you. If you, because that ain't your situation, and I don't want to cause no issues for your situation. I'm saying Jane and John. Jane tells John she don't want him liking the post. She don't want him loving the post or even commenting too much because it makes her feel some kind of way. John's response is, I'm not gonna stop doing it because I've been doing it and I'm gonna keep on doing it, and you need to fix you.
I think John could handle that a little better, and the reason why I say that, and it could be vice versa. I'm not saying it because John is a male, because I don't want nobody to think that I'm taking the female side. But when Jane came to John in reference to it, maybe John should ask Jane, "What is your problem with it?" Get clarity. Get clarity, because what is the problem with liking or hearting somebody's? Yeah, get clarity. I just think it's childish.
It's clear. She got a problem with it. Here's the clarity.
What's
she got a problem with it?
What's the problem?
The problem is she got a problem with it. She got a problem with you liking and loving other people's posts.
That's not enough.
She wants you to stop.
That's not enough, Shonda. I'm sorry. Why?
But Shonda.
But why?
You just said that if your husband said he don't want you to do, you would stop it immediately. But with Jane and John, you saying John's supposed to.
My husband would tell you right now, if he asked me to stop, he can tell you I'm going to ask him why. I'm going to ask him why. You just don't get to tell me to do something. I got to have clarity. I got to understand why I'm doing something. I need clarity. If he says that he feels a way, that's enough for me. That's enough for me, Rashonda.
So you're going to ask why, and then when he... Okay, so you're going to ask why, and you're not just going to immediately stop it. Once he says it makes him feel some kind of way, you're done with it.
I'm going to stop it regardless because he told me to stop it, but I still need clarity.
But that's different from what you're saying the response should be with Jane and John. Because
you told me you didn't want no more, you didn't want to go deep. You said all we was doing was making a decision based on what her need was, her desire was, which was for him to stop. But what I'm saying is, based on the scenario you gave us, John said he wasn't going to stop. That's not my answer. That's not my story. So because John said he wasn't going to stop, I think that that's an inappropriate response to the need. That's what I'm trying to convey.
Okay. So you provided clarity. Okay, cool. So you're saying that John should say something else. What should John say?
I don't know what John should say, but John should get clarity because I don't know John, and John might, I don't know, but he need to get clarity. He need to find out, because you just don't get to throw around the word insecurity to me and call it the truth.
I wish you would.
Yeah, you don't get to throw around the word insecure to me and call it truth, because I hate when people do that. People love to label you, but they don't get clarity. They don't take accountability. You're not going to label me as insecure. You're not going to do that.
Look at Miss Celestine said, why don't John and Jane delete their Facebook page?
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all got too much going on over there.
Miss Celestine said, just throw the whole page away. Just throw the whole page away. But I ain't mad at it. But I'm not mad at it. Because if I come to you as your wife and I express an issue and we talk about it, whether that's a talk, an argument, or whatever, and we talk, and your resolution for it is you need to fix yourself, ain't nothing going on, I'm gonna keep on doing it, we got a problem.
Wait a minute. Let's bring the therapist in on this. Let's bring Gwen in on this. Because Gwen, if Jane and John was sitting at your, I want to bring Gwen in on this. She's a clinician. She's qualified to speak to this. Let's see what her response would be. Okay, you got Jane and you got John. They got a social media platform issue. They come, obviously, I ain't even gonna say nothing. I don't want to inflict your answer. But based on what Shonda said, because I was about to say something else to add to it, but I'm not. Give me your response, Gwen Mays. We have a clinic, we have two clinicians in the house. We got Dr. Tamara Tarver, she's a psychologist. And we got another board clinician on here. And I just want to know, Dr. T, give us your answer too. I want to know what you would, how you would, if Jane and John sitting on y'all couch for therapy, tell me what y'all would tell Jane and John. I'm curious.
And while we waiting for her response, y'all make sure y'all like this post. Make sure y'all love the post. Make sure y'all are sharing it.
Yes.
If you're having a good time, if this conversation is so good, make sure y'all are putting in the hashtag conversations with the Shondas, hashtag the Shondas. Make sure y'all putting that in there. We trying to change the algorithm for Facebook so that we can push it out to more people. Make sure y'all are doing that. Let me see who this is.
Dr. T talking about I'm washing my wig and listening. I'm done.
Let me see what Miss Derry said. Thank you so much. I needed to hear this. My son is deaf and he is getting divorced. He has been going through it. Very hard for him to accept it. I am definitely going to relay this information to him. What was the specific thing that you feel like he needs to hear about our conversation, Miss Terry? And I'm sorry to hear about your son's impending divorce. Separation can definitely be a hard thing to just even come to, that it needs to happen. So yeah, she said, I'm definitely going to relay this information to him and see if his job offers EAP. Absolutely. See, if Rashonda and I were just talking about this. If there's only one person that is affected or gets some good information from these lives that we're doing, we talked about telehealth services. We talked about the apps Better Health and Talkspace. We talked about going into an actual therapist's office. We talked about people who are, remember from day one, authorized to give you great advice, right? Not necessarily going to your sister, your brother, your mama, your daddy, but going to somebody who's impartial to the information so that they can, use qualified judgment to give you answers, or to at least help you come to the answers. So I love that you guys are giving that feedback, that you're going to take this information. So definitely continue to use those hashtags. Okay, I see Gwen said, "Oh Lord, what you got for us?"
Come on, Gwen.
Dr. May.
On your answer. I'm waiting on your answer, Gwen. Okay. Come on, we got
Dr. T. What you got to say about it? What you got to say about it? See what Dr. T got to say too.
You can type and wash that wig, Dr. T.
Come on, cleanliness. Come on, cleanliness.
She must be can't be late. Something going on. She washing the wig.
They do say cleanliness is next to godliness. I know that's right.
Come on.
Shakina said Jane and people inboxes but still don't want John to like posts. I'm going to pull these braids. I'm going to pull these braids out of my hair.
They say I'm done.
Gwen did say earlier, sounds like communication needs to be had in a relationship. Yeah, but if you have a partner that immediately shuts you down when you bring something to them, or remember we were talking about a little bit about narcissists, like when somebody, every time you say something to them or you express there's an issue for you, they always think that it's an argument. You can have a calm, quiet, calm, correct tone, a discussion about something, and it don't be an argument. But every time you bring something to your partner and they utilize that opportunity to victimize themselves, or they shut you down, that's hard.
Baby.
That's hard. That's hard to resolve.
Exactly.
That's hard to resolve. When you going up against a brick wall, what is that? Hey, Step.
Hello.
Monet said, I'm scrolling up. Let me see. I'm trying to see what everybody else.
Ashley, ooh, having this conversation with someone now. Get all the nuggets you need.
Listen, you know, it's interesting to me when I run across people who say, me and my partner don't argue. We never argue. In our dating relationship, we never argue. I find that strange, don't y'all? Somebody that never argues, never has discussions, and it don't even necessarily have to argue is maybe the wrong word. You have two individual people that have different life experiences, and you mean to tell me that there is no subject that you're going to have a difference of opinion about? And that's conflict. Okay, I have this opinion, you have this opinion. How do we then still, marry these two worlds where we can exist without differing opinions? Or how do we even make this into something more where we still have to iron out? Because maybe the thing that we have a difference of opinion in is substantial. Maybe it's about whether to get married or not. Maybe it's about to have kids or not. Maybe it's about how do we, split up the chores, the things to do. Like those are, things that are significant in a relationship. And if you have a partner that is blocking or won't even at least consider your point of view, then you got a problem. You got a problem. I'm not saying that if, my spouse comes to me today, just like you, Rashonda, I withheld this until this very moment. I'm not saying that if my spouse came to me today and said, I need you to stop doing these lies. I need you to stop telling my business. I don't tell our business, but I need you to, we're going to have a conversation about it. We're going to have several conversations about it. And then we're going to come to some compromise. Maybe I'm not doing something as much, but to just completely stop is problematic as well, because then, like you said, you don't just get to come and tell me what to do. And then when I have an issue that I'm bringing up for you, you get to say, oh, no, you insecure, or oh, no, you need to leave that alone, or oh, no, I'm not going to do that.
Right.
For me, it's that word, it's that R word we keep talking about. It's reciprocity. If you respect me and I respect you, and when I ask you or I bring something up to you and you say, you know what, I can do that, I might be a little more receptive to something you bring to me.
Right.
And I know that sounds crazy, but that's just the way my little brain works.
Well, something like if Mark were to come and say something to me about the live and what we're doing, it would be strange at this point because he supported, he was all for it from the beginning. So I would probably ask even then, well, what's wrong? Do I need to alter what I'm saying, or, be more cautious in this area? But at this point, I wouldn't even be doing it if he had a problem with it. I wouldn't even allow myself to get here because I've discussed this with him before we got here. So it would be a little strange for him to want me to stop it now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But what if he did? Because this was the point that a little bit Dr. Mack was talking about Tuesday. It's like, you get into a relationship, you have an agreement, right? And then eventually you grow, time goes by, and then maybe your thoughts or your feelings or your opinions may change on the thing that you previously agreed to, right? Because what I wanted at 18 was not what I wanted at 30. Yes. And it's definitely not what I want at 43.
Right.
So just because I agreed to that thing at 18 or 30 or even 40, because that was just 3 years ago, that doesn't mean that I gotta all of a sudden live with that decision or that agreement. No, we need to amend the agreement. Just like they amend the Constitution, there's amendments to it.
Right.
You have to amend your agreements. And that's where the communication part comes in. Hey, Shantae, Zine, Thank you for joining us.
Hello.
Did Gwen say anything, Dr. May? Oh, listen. I love this phrase. She said, quiet disagreement isn't the best. Quiet disagreement and quiet disrespect. Have y'all ever heard of that? Do you know what quiet disagreement is and quiet disrespect? See, some people think that you got to be loud, you got to be screaming, you got to be cursing in order to be disrespectful. But you can be so disrespectful by being absolutely quiet. Meaning, we're having a discussion about something, and then you just get quiet and you don't have no input on it. Now, if you're processing, that's one thing. And you can communicate that. You can say, I'm processing, right? You can communicate. But quiet disrespect and quiet disagreement, so you just avoiding the confrontation of the disagreement is what you're doing when you just get quiet. Just like, you know, people, we talk about the cold shoulder, you know, when you and your spouse arguing and you just stop talking altogether.
Right.
It's really quietly disrespectful. It's really quiet disagreement, right?
Right.
That's really what it is. And I'm telling you, you don't have to be cussing and fussing and fighting and with the bad tone and all of that to be in disagreement or to be disrespectful. A lot of people think differently though. They think if I talk like this, if I'm not screaming, if I'm not cursing, but I'm being condescending
or being ignored,
and I'm being sarcastic.
Being ignored is the worst.
Ooh, girl.
That's the worst. I want to go to what Erica said back here when we were on Jane and John. Erica said, okay, John needs to be more sensitive to Jane, but Jane needs some healing. Jane is either hurt from a past relationship or hurt from something John did. Come on through. Come on through.
Yes, Erica. That's from one of our day ones.
Yes,
Erica. Yes. If you're not paying enough attention to your partner, that you would even notice that there's something, because what really happens in relationships is those little small things or things that you think are small things are usually indicative of something bigger.
Absolutely.
Right? It's usually about a multitude of things that John has done to stoke the flames, so to speak, of Jane's insecurity. Because maybe at the beginning of the relationship, Jane was secure. This is my boo, we rock it, right? But over the years, maybe there have just been little things that have been built up to make her feel uneasy. And I'm going to tell you like this, and y'all can agree or disagree. It is the responsibility of your spouse to make you feel secure in the relationship, to reassure you. And you can do that in a lot of ways, right?
Hold on, back up. What you just say, I need you to repeat that because I think I didn't process that. Say that again.
I think it's each other's responsibility to make the other person be to feel secure and to be reassured. I think that is, especially in a marriage.
I agree.
And I'm gonna tell you one particular instance. So one of I used to be in the band. I played clarinet. Shout out to the win-win section.
Yeah.
And this guy who used to be our drum major, he's married now. And I saw him one day at a party. And I said, hey, how you and all of that, right? The first thing that he did, and this goes back to what we were talking about on Tuesday. The first thing that he did before he hugged me, before he said anything, he said, hey, this is my wife.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Things like that you can do to make your spouse not feel a way about you interacting with somebody else.
Yes. Clarinet.
Woo woo, clarinet.
Clarinet.
The clarinet, yes. Yes, it's little things like that, you know?
Yeah.
Now, I didn't know his wife, you know, and this was a long time ago, but I didn't know his wife, but that was appropriate. That was appropriate. Acknowledge my person.
Right.
Acknowledge my person, and then we can get to shucking and jiving like we usually do, but
Yeah.
acknowledge my person, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So little things like that we can do to make our partners feel, I don't care who, it can be the baddest come up to him. He gonna let them know, this me right here. It's little things like that. It's little things like that that you can do. Not little things, huge things.
Yeah,
You
big
know,
thing.
so yes, yes. So I think, you know, it's important.
I totally agree.
Did we go? Did we go back to far enough? Let me see.
Gwen said meet with them. She would meet with them individually because it may be something to explore that one is dealing with. Read what Monet said.
I'm seeing it. She says, so I'm quiet. I am not avoiding. I just hate arguing because it makes me shut down because I would see arguments that would make me hurt.
Mm.
Ooh.
And that's a great point. I'm so glad you shared that, Monet. Thank you so much for sharing that, because that is a trigger for her. That's what she's saying.
Yep. Yep.
That's exactly what she's saying, packaged together. You got to understand the language. That's a trigger for her, because if she watched that and saw that happen, she don't want to depict that. So sometimes you got to infer the answer as well, because she didn't say it's a trigger for her to argue.
But that's what it is.
For her
that's
language,
what it is.
let us know that it is.
Yep. But here's the thing. Just because you're quiet, just because you're trying to avoid the confrontation, that's not healthy either. Because eventually you're going to have the conversation. Now, you get to control when, how, and where, right? Like you can communicate to your partner and say, hey, I'm in, like, okay, you guys watch Red Table, right?
With Jada?
I'm gonna steal this from Will and Jada, and I know they got issues, but it was a good point. So Will and Jada have been doing therapy for a very long time. Y'all know Jada's from Baltimore, Will is from West Philadelphia. So they come from some really tough places, some really tough cities, not to mention they have some really rough upbringings. If y'all didn't know that, if y'all didn't read Will's book, they come from some tough places. So they were doing some therapy, and they got to the point where whenever Will said whenever he would be feeling feelings, whatever they were, he would have to tell Jada, I'm impaired. I can't talk with you. I can't talk with you. We cannot have this discussion right now. And as his partner who understands, if I don't allow this man to process or whatever, somebody gonna get hurt, right? Somebody gonna either get their feelings hurt or somebody's gonna physically get hurt, right? So you have to still have the conversation, but once tempers and everything calm down. But when the tempers are calmed down, when everybody's cool and you done sat with yourself and dealt with your feelings, you still have to communicate. You still have to do it. And you get to control when and where, but you just got to communicate. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to shut down, and then we're not about to have no future discussions. We ain't going to have it today. We ain't going to have it tomorrow. We ain't ever going to have it. Because guess what's going to happen? You're going to have a rug with a bunch of stuff pushed up under it. And what happens to rugs when there's a bunch of dirt up under it? You start tripping on that stuff. You start tripping on that rug. So eventually you're going to have to deal with it. But you, like I said, you do get to control. And that's not unlike my husband. My husband is very non-confrontational, quiet, reserved kind of person. And me, with my rambunctious self and that don't work for him. That don't work for him. So I have to almost like strip down myself and what is my default, based on my traumas, based on being ignored, based on not being considered, right? I gotta come out of that and meet him where he's at. And where he's at is, now when you done calm down, he don't say this, and he don't talk to me like this, but when you done calm down, when you done came, you know, to where I will say, okay, so when can we have the discussion? We can have it tomorrow. I don't like that because the controlling person in me want to be like, no, we're gonna have it right now.
Yeah, we too much alike. We too much alike. It's scary. We too much alike. But I will say it all depends on what the other person is willing to compromise. Because when Mark and I got together, he was one of those people that, oh, I'm angry with you, I don't want to talk about it no more. And I was raised up in a house where my grandma, she didn't like to let the sun go down on her wrath, so to speak. So she liked to quickly get the, you know, y'all might not be the best buddies or booze or whatever at the end of the conversation, but you didn't clear the ice. You didn't, you didn't chip that ice a little bit before you go to bed. Because she always felt like, don't go to bed angry with one another, because who's to say you're going to wake up tomorrow? You understand what I'm saying?
I get that. That's right. And that is a lot in our community. That's a lot of that has been good and bad. So there are advantages to it and disadvantages to it, right? Because if you are somebody who has trauma, and most of us have trauma in our lives.
Hello.
And I'm gonna tell you about me. Yeah, I might want to have a conversation right now, but a lot of times after I done had a sleep, I ain't even mad about it no more.
Come on, it's the truth.
To be quite honest with you, I done forgot about why I was mad.
That lets you know that it wasn't even that serious.
Boom, boom, boom. So now what you won't do is ignore me and then not even let me have the conversation or tell me when can we actually have the conversation. Because when I say, okay, I know I'm heated right now, but when can we have this conversation? Because I'm like, you know, jumping at the bit. When can we? And I don't get a response, we're going to have a problem. I need the response. And if I don't get that, then we're going to have more trouble. So give me the response.
Let's call a spade a spade. I suffered from abandonment issues. So we got to, you know, let's break this thing all the way on down. So a person's response might be derived from past trauma, just like you say.
Yep.
So if I got abandonment issues, I'm concerned about that person going. You understand what I'm saying? And I want to quickly resolve it so it don't fester and cause something else. So understanding that also is key.
You have to understand your partner's triggers. You have to understand your partner's history. You have to understand what your partner has been through. That don't give them a pass. Let's be clear.
Right.
That don't give them a pass to just operate anywhere that they want to. This is why I'm saying to that person, I can't remember who it was, that said that they're a quiet person, don't like to argue. It don't have to be an argument. It don't have to be an argument. It just needs to be clarity, like you said. It just needs to be communication. Okay, when can we have the conversation? Okay, we can have the conversation on Friday at the end of the week. Okay, cool. I'm gonna be writing my list down. By the time Friday comes, I'm like, okay, I ain't mad about that no more. Okay, I know why I was mad about that, but let me not talk about that because that ain't even cool. But we got still 2 things on the list though.
Right.
Bro. Right. We still got 2 things on the list, you know? So, hey, Sade. Sade said her and our other friend, Shalana, were just touching on this in a discussion earlier. Honey.
I want to go back to what Carrie Littleton said earlier. She said, I get being quiet, but how do you get to the resolution? I like your question. I love your question, as a matter of fact.
That's my cousin Carrie.
I love your question because I'm always concerned about getting to the resolution, because if it was enough to bring it to me and it was a problem, it's a big enough problem to resolve. So in my humble opinion, you got to, just like Shonda said, wait until that person is ready to talk about it, because you're not going to get the best results if you're trying to force yourself or the conversation on them. But as far as getting to a resolve, you need to get to the root cause of the issue. And a lot of times, just like for the prime example, the heart in somebody's Facebook post, that's not your problem, boo. That's not your problem. That is not your problem.
That's not the issue. That's not the issue.
That's not the issue.
That's right.
That's not the issue. Get to the root cause of the issue, because the root cause is the underlying thing that is going to fester, and no matter what that man does, it's going to create a problem. So figure that out. So my best answer to you is to find the solution, get to the root cause.
Yep. And I'm gonna tell you, I would say, and I mean, get some professional opinions, you know, because I'm not.
We're not clinicians. We're not clinicians, but you're always gonna have a root cause issue. You just know that. That's sexual.
That's right. That's right. Whether it's childhood trauma, like Miss Celestine's here talking about some stuff. She says, I'm not married, but when I was in arguments with family, I would get so nervous and cry. Oh, honey, me too. But that's how mad I get sometimes. Like I'll cry easy, thinking that it's going to turn ugly because my dad was very abusive to my mom. Jesus, talk about trauma. When I was a child, I always try to avoid it and push everything under the rug and just accept anything. Ooh. My RVP says, don't settle, because everything that settles is at the bottom, and I will see you at the top. Don't settle.
That's good.
Listen, I understand. And a lot of times, who said that? Miss Celestine. Miss Celestine, you're not the only one. There are lots of people in relationships that are angry, that are unsettled, that are in disagreement with a lot of things that their spouses do, but because of whatever reasons, financial reasons, insecurity, what are some other reasons? People just stay in relationships for fear of the unknown, fear of being out here on your own, fear that no one else will love you. And I'm here to tell you, there's somebody out here for all of us. There's multiple people out here for all of us. So if the person you with ain't doing you right, ain't treating you right, and you don't try to talk to them, you don't get in some therapy. But more than likely, you probably just need to leave them, you know, because I'm telling you, this little thing right here, it's gonna keep on going. This life is gonna keep on going, and then sooner or later, you're gonna realize that you 60 years old, you know, and you have settled for something. Don't even look at being single as a bad thing. I enjoyed every moment of my singlehood. You hear me? And I'm not talking about it in a nasty, you know, kind of way, because nobody could ever say that about me. But in my 20s, no kid, and I was out here dating in Charlotte, North Carolina. Oh, hunty. The NFL players, the basketball players that's in the city, oh, I was trying to enjoy all of the 20s, and I did. I did.
I enjoyed some of my 20s, some of it, not much. I really, I'm just now starting to live, honestly, because I had a lot of responsibility in my 20s. Taking care of my grandfather that was sick. Well, no, that wasn't my 20s. That was my 30s. Well, late 20s. Yeah, I started in my late 20s. But I'm not going to tell nobody to leave their relationship. I don't know your circumstance. Only you know it. But you ought to know when enough is enough. That's what I will say. You ought to know when enough is enough, and don't be nobody.
Some people don't. Some people don't. Some people get black eyes. Some people get broken bones. Some people done lost kids. Some people done lost their livelihood. Some people have lost a whole lot of things because they did not know when enough is enough. That's why you need to get you some good girlfriends.
It's true.
You need to get you some therapy. You need to get you, you know, some people who are really in your corner. And I'm gonna tell y'all something that my aunt Meg, I keep saying, it seems like everywhere I go. My Aunt Mary, we call her Aunt Mick, she said something to me a long time ago. She said, don't ever let nobody take you away from your family. And I will never forget that. I will never forget that. Now, while I might be 2.5 hours away from my family, oh, I got a car that I own that I can jump, and I got a job that I can put gas in that car and drive 2.5 hours to see my mama. And when I go somewhere, when I go down there, oh, we're not just gonna be hanging out with the in-laws, we're gonna be hanging out with my mama too. Like this past weekend was homecoming, we stayed with my mother-in-law, but Sunday, I sat for several hours on my mama's porch and we just cut it up. Because I used to be in a relationship with someone who we would pass through Bowman. He would never wanted to stop in Bowman. He always wanted to have us in, you know, at his mama house around his family, but he never wanted to be around my family. I'm like, my family is just as good as your family. What you talking about?
Right.
You know? And it was just things like that that I would allow.
Right.
I don't allow that no more. I don't allow that no more, because I've never forgotten that. When I started to realize, oh, you just want, you know, me for you and for you, but you're not trying to intermingle with my family.
I be running my family like to drink. I be running from half of mine, so I don't need nobody to tell me. You know, there's only a select few, baby, because that's another conversation for another day.
But the ones that you want to be around, I'm never gonna not want to be around my mama. My mama ain't no toxic mama.
No. Well, my mama gone, you know, and my father and I are very estranged. So as far as my parents are concerned, that's where that go. I have siblings, but you know, we don't get to see each other a lot. And I make my family, the one that I'm created, my main thing. That's my main thing. What's in our four corners. So to each their own.
Yeah, you have a different situation because you lost your mom at a young age. Your grandmother who raised you is gone. Your grandfather who raised you is gone. So you do have some people, but the core people, the people that are responsible for, you know, your formative years, they're gone from this earth. So I get that. For me, it's different because I got 33 cousins and I know all of them.
Oh, I probably got 60 on God, for real. But it's the fact of the matter, you know, I didn't grow up, now let me be transparent. I didn't grow up spending a whole lot of time with my daddy family because they are a big family too. But make no mistakes, my maternal grandmother is a Stevens, okay? And so that's a huge family. So I got plenty of cousins that I can, you know, get to know. And as a matter of fact, me and some of my cousins on my father's side right now are getting together trying to plan us a 2023 cousin trip. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, you know, my story is that I was my mama's little helper. So I had a hand in raising my brother and my sisters. You know, when you, like that thing on TikTok said, when you see them, you see me. When you see me, you see them. Like that was us. And while we all live in different places, we got different jobs, we do different things, you know, we don't have the same scenarios going on. Bet nobody say nothing about them girls. Bet nobody say nothing about Lucinda Belinda. Bet nobody say nothing about John Crandall. Like, it's like that. And not even just that, because my cousin Melvin is on here. He said, your family raised a lot of hell. That's family too. That's my cousin Melvin. Listen, I'm telling you, I got it's just 33 on my maternal grandmother's side. On my grandfather's side, I think the last time Monica counted, it was like over 100 of us. We getting ready to do a color kickback. It's about to be live. Y'all gonna see. It's gonna be like a stadium.
I know that's right. But I love seeing families get together. I do. Yeah. But my dynamic of what family was when I grew up is just not the same right now. And it's just not the same for me. The key players that were in my life, they're gone. I'm okay with that though, but I'm just saying the dynamic of family for me has drastically changed. You know, I'm trying to show my children, you know, what family is supposed to look like. So this is where I'm at now with my family.
Yeah, yeah, and I get that. And the thing about it is, you know, as long as you and your partner, like we keep talking about agreements.
My
As
sister
long as
on
you
here,
and
hey Shaniqua, my god sister.
oh, hey, Shaniqua. Yeah, as long as you and your family, your spouse or your partner have agreements about, you know, or you guys are similar in that, that's what it is. I just know some people who they only spend time with like their spouse's family. They never spend time with the other side. And that could be potentially toxic. That could be potentially dangerous. What you don't want to. And then not only that, just from a logistics point of view, like I want my child to know all 300,000 of her cousins so that she won't be in here telling me she likes somebody that I know we kin to.
Right. Now
You
that's
know?
a good point. That's a great point right there. That's a great point.
Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you, one of my cousins, Demetrius, she mentioned that because she was like, y'all, our kids don't know, our kids don't know each other like how we used to know. Cause like we real life, we was all, you know, in all the beds together in my grandmama's house. We was all, you know, doing mud pies and in the dirt together. We was all 33 of us. That's how we roll. Now maybe the baby girls, my Uncle Ricky's youngest girls, you know, they're significantly younger than the rest of us. So maybe not them necessarily, but they're included in that 33. But the rest of us, yeah, we went to each other's houses. We spent the night. Most of the time it was with, you know, with us. So, Melvin, that's why we live in Charlotte, Melvin. That's so funny. Listen, it's a gang of them out there. And then her dad's family, the Stevens, they there's a lot of them too.
I'm gonna tell you, when I realized, I'm telling you now, I would never, ever, ever get to know all of my Stevens family. It's not humanly possible at this point.
Listen, no.
I'm telling you, because my grandmother's siblings, it was, wait a minute. So we came from Hannah and Steve Stevens is our branch, okay? They had 14 kids. And 2 of 14 of those kids had 14 kids.
Woo!
And I'm not even talking about the other 12. And so, and we're like maybe 2 generations down. So it's they were supposed to be before the pandemic came. I think it was supposed to be in Philadelphia, if I'm not mistaken. But I want to. That's one family reunion I definitely want to go to. It's so many Stevens, it is ridiculous.
Yeah, I went to the one with I went to my husband's Stevens family reunion when it was in Myrtle Beach with Senator Stevens. Isn't he a senator?
Same
or is
family,
he
yeah.
Yeah. And I just loved it because they were like tracing their history back to the Sierra Leone. Wow. So I can specifically tell my daughter where a part of her family is from. You know?
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that. Yeah. I didn't go. I have not been to a Stevens family reunion yet, but I knew since I was little that I was a Stevens. As a matter of fact, where St. Stephen's Church is, my great grandmother sold that land for the church, and I'm compelled to think.
Wow.
I'm compelled to think that that's how the church got the name St. Stephen's.
Well, probably, because you know they got like over 100 acres right over there.
My great grandmother, my grandmother's mother owned that land before the.
Wow.
Yes.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Let me see what Miss Terry talking about. She said I would allow to a certain extent because family and so-called friends and boyfriends always abandon, rejected, lied to. It's the snakes bite me, and people think because I am a nice person and whenever they need me, I would still help them. Wait a minute. No, I skipped something. I'm a nice person.
Who you reading on?
This is from Miss Terry. Is that Miss? Yeah, that's Miss Terry. Because I'm a nice person and like to help them, they can talk to me any kind of way. And I am a very forgiving person. And whenever they need me, I will still help them. But as soon as I started saying, no, I am doing this or that, they stopped talking to me. Whatever Beyonce song say, I say yes to your number and yes, we could be together. I ain't saying the right words in the right order. The first time that I said no, it's like I never said yes. Listen, be careful, Miss Terry. But I'm going to tell you, one of the things that you're going to have to learn, sister, is that little 2-letter word called no, with no explanation. That's going to save your life. No. And don't offer up no explanation. Not, no, I got to go to work. No, I don't got the money. No, my husband wouldn't agree with it. It's just no.
Now, Carrie made a good point here. She said, not my household, but what about the people that use their trauma to make excuses in their relationships? They need to pull up. They need to pull up. Stop making excuses and take accountability.
Can we have a moment of silence for the people who, use, their traumas, to stay stagnant, to not move forward? Can we just have a moment of silence?
Shonda, hush.
What did Iyanla say, y'all? What did for you, Miss Terry? Somebody was saying it. Miss Terry, my cousin Carrie said to Miss Terry, I learned if you give everything you have, what will you have for yourself? What we always talking about? Iyanla Van Zandt. What's in the cup is for me. This for me.
But what?
Not for my daughter, not for my husband, not for my extended family. What's in this cup is for me. That's just like when you on an airplane and they tell you, put your mask on first, then put on everybody else's mask around you, or put your child's mask on. Because if you so busy trying to put the person next to you mask on and you don't put both of y'all gonna die. Both of y'all gonna get hurt. But you gotta take care of yourself first. It's not selfish to take care of self. It's self-full.
And you know what I'm tired of hearing people say, oh, well, you know how she is, or you know how he is. Well, when he gonna pull up? When she gonna pull up?
Listen, and let me finish the quote. What's in the cup is for me. What falls out of the cup, not because I turned it over or because you turned it over, but anything that overfills out of the cup is for everybody else. That's kids, that's spouses, that's extended family, that's for y'all. But I'm going to hold on to this cup right here because it's for me. Listen, y'all better learn to start telling these people no.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You better learn to start telling these people no. And I'm going to tell you, it's a hard thing to learn because you know what it is? And I'm guilty of this too myself. And I learned this in therapy. I'm a people pleaser. I, LaShonda Stevens, am a people pleaser.
That is not my story.
So I am a people pleaser. I want everybody to be good. I want everybody to be happy and smiling, and I want everybody to like me, and I want all of these things, right?
That's not my
story. To the detriment sometimes of myself. I used to put myself out all the time, give away my money, let people utilize things of mine, and know I need it. Okay, you gonna give back to me on Friday? Okay, if you're gonna give back to me on Friday, then we good. But if you don't give it back to me on Friday, I'm not going to be able to pay my rent. I'm not going to be, It's just no now. It's just no. But I had to learn that about me. And it's like, why am I a people pleaser? Because I've learned that there's a good feeling that comes behind pleasing people. There's a good feeling that it makes you feel good when somebody asks you for something and you have it to give to them.
I've done that. I've done that. I've given to people and still do for that matter. But I know when to say no. I'm not going to allow it to jeopardize my household, or I'm gonna go slacking on something. I've graduated from there, because first of all, when I'm in need, who can I call?
Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
Who in the world can I call?
Who said who? Who can you run to? Yes. Who? Who?
You be over here hearing crickets, waiting on me to get somebody to come over here and help me, honey.
Listen, we was having a discussion about my sister bought my niece a look, my sister bought nobody.
Come on, and it's true. It's true, Lucy. You ain't gonna find a soul when you in need. Not nobody. Look at Drea, nobody in my Keith Sweat voice.
Listen, there might be a few, but not all the time. You know what I'm saying? It might be a few that I can turn to, that I can rely on, but not all the time. If you do it too much, they're gonna be like, well, hold on now, hold on.
It's true. It is true, honey.
Hold on. Every month. Listen.
Oh Lord, Miss Celestine say, and you need your light bill paid, but you want to buy all 10 of your relatives' kids' shoes. Oh Lord, but you sitting in the dark. Oh, something wrong. Priorities all screwed up. Oh Lord, Shonda. Oh
So
Lord.
Oh my God. So you want to be up in the club, popping bottles, right? But then you calling because you need something taken care of. No, I'm sorry. No. Sometimes I don't even get the opportunity to say no. I just don't answer the phone.
That's that silent treatment.
Yeah. Listen, Miss Terry just busted out a Mary J. Blige quote. She said, I used to, but now I only pour into people who pour into me. Mary J. Blige says that she's good to people who are good to her. Yeah. Okay, my cousin Melvin said he got one for us.
Yeah.
I have one for you. I hope y'all ready for this. Okay, go ahead,
Go ahead.
Cousin Melvin. Did we ever get our response from Dr. Mays? Let me see.
Yeah, she basically said that she was, separate the two people and see what I'm paraphrasing, by the way. She would separate the two people and basically, I guess, see what the need is. Deborah Cox said, no. Am I saying that right?
No.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. I know that's right, Carrie.
Yes. I love it. Okay, we still waiting on you, Melvin.
Come on, Melvin. The anxiety, I'm getting anxious over here.
Now, see, social media and relationships, y'all. See, this is what happens every night. We start off on a topic and then we end up. Wait a minute, cuz Nika, you said that's your biggest problem. Were you talking about when I said a people pleaser? Okay, hold on. What he said, Rashonda?
He says, what if you have a breakup and your ex still wants you to help with their bills and you know they can't afford to pay their bills? Oh, Lord.
Where's your microphone? Where's your microphone?
No.
London.
I got to read that again. He said, what if you have a breakup and your ex still wants you to help with their bills and you know they can't afford to pay their bills?
London, where's the microphone at?
Let me get to the microphone. Lord, I should have charged this thing up. Hello?
I need batteries for mine.
It's working. I need it again. for the people in the back. Hold on, let me take the echo off it.
No, I love the echo. The echo.
It's about to die, but I'm gonna go ahead and listen. Wait a minute. He said,
okay, hold on.
What if you break up? My mic won't let me be great, y'all. And your ex still wants you to help with their bills, and you know they can't afford to pay their bills. I'm gonna need somebody to
before you answer. Before you answer, Rashonda Mack, the people want to know, how should you answer that? The people want to know. Live 5 News would like to know. Go ahead.
I can't.
Back to you in the studio, folks.
Back to the studio.
Oh, did y'all miss it? You want to say it again, sis?
Yeah, let me go ahead for the people in the back once more. And y'all hear this beeping? It's my mic is going dead, but I have to just use it and get here. Melvin Richardson, for the sake of the conversation.
Yes, cousin.
Okay. Melvin Richardson says, what if you have a breakup? What if you have a breakup and your ex still wants you to help with their bills and you know they can't afford it? Now, I'm going to answer this for y'all for real. Hold on. I'm going to cut this mic off because I don't want this thing to I don't want it to distract me here.
Olympia, where you been, girl? Where you been?
She talking about she was sleeping good. Okay, so Melvin, I'm not no expert or nothing like this. You just asking a simple question, and I'm gonna just give you an answer to the best of my ability. First of all, if you care anything about your ex, you would be probably advising them. If you don't care to sit down with them, you would be trying to instruct them to sit down and budget their bills out, okay? Because if you just said for yourself, they want you to help them with their bills, but you know they can't afford it. So maybe you need to redirect them to sit down and actually budget, okay? Sit down and budget. Because sometimes we like to live above our means, and when you get to adding them checks up and adding them bills up, 9 times out of 10, if you can't afford it, that means you got more bills than you got money. So you need to be trying to figure out whether they're gonna, get a second job. They may have to pull up and do a little something else, they help themselves. But that's no longer your responsibility if y'all ain't together, unless y'all got a child in the house or something.
Listen, I was just about to put a disclaimer. Now, okay, we're not talking about people who share children.
Right.
We're not talking about child support. We're not talking about alimony, right? We're not talking about those kinds of things. What we're talking about is y'all was just boyfriend and girlfriend. Y'all was sharing
Melvin, do they have kids? Do they have kids?
I think he was just asking,
generally, he just hypothetically asking. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if they got kids, Melvin, then I would reconsider my response. But, outside of that, I would be trying to redirect them to getting back on their budget and on track, or trying to help cultivate some more income in there so that they can afford to pay their bills by themselves.
You're such a good person, Rashonda. I love that answer, because you said, you know what, sis, I cannot help you. You know what, bro? I don't have it in me to do, but what I will do is set you up with someone who can, talk to you about your finances and budgeting and things like that.
Right.
And actually, you know someone very well.
LaShonda,
who's in
LaShonda Stevens. Yes. LaShonda.
Yes, someone in financial services very well who can help somebody talk about, the things that they have going in and out of their home, what income, what, extra lines of income that they have, because the name of the game right now is multiple streams of income. So
look at what Drea said. She says, oh no, whoever they pop lock and dropping it with need to help them with their bills. Okay. Listen, I need to cut the mic back over this. I gotta cut the mic back over this.
Go ahead.
Hello for the people. Wait, is it on? Hold on. I gotta cut it off.
Is this thing recorded?
Hello for the people in the back. It ain't on. What's going on? Oh, it won't let me be great. It's dying.
I can't even find mine right there. London.
Ayana. Where's your
cousin? You can absolutely talk to me on financial services products that we offer. If you would like to call me, or if you or anyone else on this live would like to call me in reference to that, call me on my business phone, which is 704-774-8138.
Repeat the number once more, Shonda. Repeat it once more.
704-774-8138. That is my business number. You can also follow L. Stevens Financial Services on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitter. L. Stevens Financial Services. And my phone number, once again, is 704-774-8138.
You want to pin that comment?
Let's see. Pin this comment. I have pinned it. Okay?
Perfect.
So, yeah. You see your friend Andrea?
What Drea didn't say? Listen, I had to have this conversation with my husband because he used to be Captain Saverhole. Not Saverhole, Shonda.
Yes. I'm not doing Andrea tonight. I'm just not gonna do her tonight because she been feeling frisky today in these comments. I'm not gonna do Andrea.
I love it though. I love the conversation. Miss Terry said, "You both are so funny, but these conversations are needed."
Olympia, that's the point of it all, honey. Okay. Okay. I'll inbox you, okay? I'll inbox you. Okay, who just said it? Oh, Mika. Mika, what's up, girl? I saw you was on earlier. I saw your name pop up there. Okay, did we catch all the notes? I want to make sure we get all of these comments. Make sure we ain't missing nobody because there was some great stuff. And y'all, we're getting ready to wrap up too because it's almost 10 o'clock. I hope you guys have been enjoying this. Make sure that you do definitely like this live. Make sure you've shared it and go back and maybe there's some gems that we've dropped in here and watch it again. Make sure you do use the hashtags that we were talking about earlier. Hashtag conversations with the Shondas. Hashtag the Shondas.
And make sure when y'all do your hashtag that you're putting every word together. That's how the hashtag works. So it could be searchable. I'm not judging you all. I'm just telling you so it could be searchable. Just make sure you're putting conversations with the Shondas with no spaces.
Yeah. And even though, Andrea made it funny, whoever you pop locking and dropping it for needs to help with them bills. Listen, that's actually a valid point because, anyone who's in a relationship, if you're in a relationship that's not mutually beneficial, then maybe you should reconsider because, just like any other type of relationship, marriage is a relationship, but marriage is also business. Marriage is also, legal stuff. It's legalities, and part of the reason that, marriage is so important in this country, especially, is because it's the transfer of assets, right? And so don't think for 1 second that, oh, I'm just in it for the love. We're just so in love. Yeah, I love my husband.
Love is
but
not
also,
enough.
What love got to do with it? Like that's initially the attraction, but that's not the thing that's going to keep you. That's not going to keep you. It's commitment, right? It's understanding.
Actually, Drea, it is on my list. I created that today based on the conversation from Tuesday Live, because it was a lot packed in Tuesday's Live. Drea said this should be a topic. It was a lot packed in Tuesday Live. I just wrote down a little bit of it, but it was a whole lot that I captured that can become topics. So trust me, it's one. We don't want to dive too deep, too fast. But it's a much needed conversation as well.
My cousin Melvin says, I can tear up y'all live with a lot of hypothetical issues. Listen, we're going to bring you on, because I love that you're in here, because, a lot of times people think that these types of topics are just, it's hen talk. It's just women talking. But in reality, it is the conversations that need to be had across all genders, right? Like it's conversations about partnership. And we're not just talking about, I know we've spent a lot of time talking about our own relationships and about marriages and, partnership and things like that. But these same principles and ideologies are good and beneficial in business relationships. One of the things, we were talking about last time was I said, I know I have a family member who doesn't want us posting the children on Facebook. And you have to respect that. Just because, they're in the world does not mean that, oh, I got my camera, everything is privy to be on social media.
Right.
And as a parent, you have the right to dictate how and when your children are posted this place and that place. Right. And so you got to give that to them, because the thing is, if I say, I don't want to relax my daughter's hair, and then my mom goes and relaxes my daughter's hair, that's being disrespectful to what I want to raise her in, right? So it's the same thing with social media, which is why I'm saying, that covenant relationship, that Rashonda keeps mentioning, amongst your spouses, your partners, because it doesn't even have to be a spouse. Some people don't believe in marriage. Some people just think, if we together, we long term, and especially if we got children together, we have to have an understanding. And I think it works the same even if y'all are not together, because there are many people that have children with somebody that they're not currently in a relationship with. There still needs to be some agreements about what we can and cannot do. I've seen on social media where people's step parents have posted them, and then the biological parents have gotten mad, or the children are in the photos or in lives and stuff like that, and the biological parents don't want that. We can't say this enough. We really need more agreements, and the agreements can only happen if there is communication.
Thank you for joining us, Gwen. It was greatly appreciated. Miss Terry said, I can't wait till Tuesday. When Tuesday come, I can't wait until Thursday. Sometimes I'll be tempted to be wanting us to come on Saturday, because it'd be so long for everybody to have to wait. They be in our inbox, they be saying, yeah, we can't wait. And honestly, we can't wait either.
Yeah. And I did not get anybody's email address, by the way, either. We were telling you guys that we needed you guys to put your email address in our inbox so that we could add you to the conversation visually. And no one put it in my inbox. If anybody's put it in your inbox, you will have to let me know. But I didn't see anybody's email address. In order for us to send you an invite, we need your email address. So you guys can still do that. So make sure that if you want to come live, like how we were earlier in the other live, we're going to figure that whole thing out on how to do it and make it, worth it, but make it also visually pleasing. We're going to do that, and we're going to have where it can be more than just the two of us in the conversation visually. So, definitely go ahead and still send your email addresses to one or the both of us.
Your cousin is sending his, look like.
Okay.
Anybody who might not want theirs publicized here, you can certainly inbox LaShonda under Shonda Stevens, or you can inbox me under Rashonda Mack.
Yeah, send a private message. Because y'all know how these bots go. They'll take your information and you'll start getting all kind of random stuff. I might already had your email address, Melvin, to be honest with you. Did we miss anybody's comments that we wanted to cover? Did you have anything else from Tuesday that you wanted to touch bases on?
All right, we basically talked about relationship confidence, you know, that reassurance. We talked about posting your locations. We talked about acknowledging your spouse. I don't know if we talked about, I think we did touch on complimenting other women.
Yeah, we talked about that, yeah.
One other thing that I wrote down that I don't think we touched on, we could probably make this out of a whole topic, honestly. That complex, I don't like him or I don't like her, and not really having a reason, not really knowing why, and just having these preconceived notions about people that you don't know anything about. That came up.
Say it one more time. Say it one more time.
I don't like her, or I don't like him, or it's something about her or something about him. That was brought up in the last live. I jotted that down. But you know how somebody just says that? It's the reason why you don't care for somebody. You're not just going around hating somebody or feeling a way about somebody that have never done anything to you. Like, you need to deal with that and find out what that problem could be. We talked about setting boundaries. We talked about influencers and ambassadors within social media. We talked about getting to the underlying issue. We talked about the triggers of insecurity and trust.
Yeah.
You even said the other night that the enemy has already been there, infiltrating into the marriage if they got those issues, because I remember writing that down. That was basically it. Knowing your intent and your purpose, and realizing that your intent and your purpose might not be someone else's intent and purpose for being on these social media platforms. Excuse me.
And it might differ between, partners, right?
Right. It might differ between partners. Yeah, and coming to the awareness. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just like, maybe I want to get out here and be social because I want to promote for my business. Maybe I want to get out here and drum up some business and things like that. But maybe, my partner just wants to be on here to, talk trash about the Dallas Cowboys, and so they don't quite understand why I'm, accepting a lot of people, even though my page is private, I'm still accepting a lot of people. I got almost 5,000 friends on here. Right.
Right.
So it's just communication and having those conversations with your spouse or with your partner, your business partner, with I would even say, because we talk about all relationships, even if you're not in a romantic relationship with someone, but you share something, you share property, you share a home, you share children, you share responsibilities, whatever it is you share with them, communication is going to be your best tool to dealing with all of that. And I know there's a lot of people who just like to avoid everything. They like avoiding conversation, avoiding conflict. But I'm going to tell you, conflict is a normal thing. It does not mean that you are unhealthy. It does not mean that you're bad people just to have conflict. Everybody has conflict in their relationship. You just have to figure out how to do it fairly and healthily. That's really the name of the game, and not do it so where it's triggering your partner's trauma, because exactly what we're doing in relationships, in all relationships, is we're bumping up against each other's traumas. That's what we're doing. That's
exactly what we're doing. You made a good point. You said you had about 5,000 Facebook friends, and it triggered me about even assessing your friends list. Although LaShonda and I are in business, in this season, I want to have some interactive friends. It's no need for me to have 8,000 friends and then they don't interact. They don't join my lives. They don't post. They don't comment on my posts. So I'm looking for some intentional friends. You understand what I'm saying? Friends intentionality. So I'm even going to clean up my friends list because I told y'all the other night I'm more concerned about the quality of the connections that I'm making versus the numbers. The numbers are good to have, but if they're not converting, especially in my sales section, in my business area, if these numbers, as in friends, and this is for anybody that's in business, if your friend lists are not converting sales for you, you may need to go and scout who's your connections, who are your prospects for the type of business that you're branding and trying to build on social media. Some people are not coming on here to do business or even receive business, so we gotta have mind of that too. Start looking in groups for the things, those that are in business, that is. Start looking for groups that are with like-minded people. For instance, I have a dispatching company. I'm not just depending on me to be the one to go and talk about dispatch. I'm gonna go to groups where there are actually truckers that need my services. So go look for people that need your services. Shonda is a financial services advisor. I would imagine she's in groups where people are interested in learning more about their finances and wanting a budgeting plan. So have intentionality, especially when you're in business. Look for the groups that need your services and your tools and resources. I just want to throw that out there because we brought up about the numbers. I want us to have intentionality on that.
Listen, I took it the wrong way, but it's a good whole word. You said you need to clean up your friend list, and I took it like it was a whole word, like not just on Facebook, but in life. Sometimes we have people on our friends list that aren't really serving any purpose.
Now that's a whole word.
So clean that up. Clean that up. And I'm gonna tell you specifically, because that's so good. That's so good. Because specifically, like on TikTok, if you are friends with or you're following a lot of bots, what happens is it changes your specific algorithm to where you're not seeing everything you actually want to see. So you have to go in there and unfollow all of these photos, or all of these eggs, or all of these ones that don't have photos, or all of these ones that have, generic names and things like that. People that really aren't, like you said, aren't even interacting with your page.
Right.
And all they want to do, like we was talking about, just want to
lurk.
This ain't for you. This ain't
and
for
monitor.
you. Let's go ahead and
let's
go ahead and remove you. Yes. Let's have peace in this season.
Yes.
My cousin, I call him the sick and shut-in. Lord, honey. Oh my. Okay, y'all, my husband about to come in here.
Olympia said, right, I just deleted about 50 people and have over 200 in friend requests. And guess what? I'm glad you mentioned that, Limp. I had, I think it was like 160 something in my request list, and I got tired of seeing them. Some of them been sitting there for 4 and 5 years. I went through about 3 weeks ago because, see, to me, and this is just me, but to me, when you leave them in that friend request status and they're waiting to be accepted, what you're saying is, I may or may not. I made it clear. I went in there and deleted everybody that was in that request. I don't want to be your friend. Just go ahead on and because first of all, I'm gonna check your page, and if we're not in the same vein, if you're not, and I don't mean that in a boisterous way, but if I see you, all you on there doing is cussing and fussing and talking down about women, that's not the connection that I want. I'm just being honest, and that's anybody. I don't want to be connected to somebody that all you want to do is tear people down. So if I go on your page and that's what I see, and you still in that request status, consider that to be your notice right there. You probably won't be friendly. It's factual.
Rashonda, that's a whole fact. Girl, I just saw a guy post, if you are, how did he say it? I'm going to mess it up, but I'm paraphrasing. He said something to the effect of, there ain't no woman who washes her ASS 7 days a week. A man said that. He posted that.
Wait, what? Repeat that?
You know how sometimes, you know how sometimes you'll see these posts where people will be like, so y'all don't like men who sing no more? Or so y'all don't like, whatever it is, it's a post about women, but it's men who posted, right? And this guy, I wish I could find it. Because I would tell you exactly what he said, but I done blocked him. He said, there is no woman in the world, I don't know any woman who washes her ASS 7 days a week. And really what it is a lot of men be wanting attention on this app, right? But also, it's triggering for me to see men always talking crap about women.
It kills me.
And then I go to his page, Lord. I go to his page. And you up here looking like you looking.
How you looking, Shonda?
He looking like he looking. You, sir, don't need to say nothing. No team about no women.
Oh my God.
You know, and I'm like, why is it, you know, and even for the women who do it, like, it's not cool that the only thing you talking about on your page is bashing men. I'm not with that either.
I'm talking both ways. That's what I'm talking about. You putting people down, period. Men or women.
Yeah.
Men or women. I don't like
men ain't ish. No, sir. No, ma'am. Yours ain't ish. Yours ain't ish. Say that.
That right there, they forgot they got a mother, grandmother, and aunt. That's what I'm talking about. Because don't disrespect a woman if you don't want to disrespect your mama, your sister, your aunt, your daughter. Because, see, don't be a man and you got a daughter to come up in this world. I double dare you to be a man and got a daughter coming up in this world, and you bashing girls and women.
Look, we ain't gonna fully get into this tonight because it's 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
we ain't gonna fully get into this.
Let's get off that. Let's get clean off that.
Wait a minute, but I got to say this. Our friend Keisha and I were having a conversation earlier this week, and she said, because we're not gonna have this, it's about colorism.
Oh God.
There were lots of people. Y'all know colorism is rampant in our community. There were people when she was in high school, and elementary school especially, who used to tease her about her dark skin. And she said, I find it funny that those same women, those same people, men too, who used to, you know, tease me about my dark skin, now
they love it.
Season, no. Now in this season, they done married them a good old chocolate girl, right? Thinking that they babies gonna come out looking like them, right? Because you know they fair skin, brown skin, whatever. They not as dark as Keisha, so they thinking we're gonna mix and it's gonna be a mixture. It ain't gonna be dark as me, it ain't gonna be light as dark, you know, whatever. And now they got these dark skinned babies, and those same mouths that they used to use to tear her down are the same mouths that they gotta use to build up their daughters. The same things that they used to tell, you know, tease her about, now you gotta help that child, that little girl that used to look like her or used to be her. Now you gotta tell that same child the good things that you should have been saying. I said, won't life turn it around for you?
Life got a way of teaching us.
Oh, and I just find, you know, when I brought that up because, you know, it's really a lot of healing that needs to happen in our community.
That needs to be a topic, Shonda. That needs to be a topic because I talked on this one time before in a live, and I don't want to go too deep right now, but those of you that are on here now and those that will watch the playback, when you get time, I want you to look up the Willie Lynch letter. and get an understanding of what the Willie Lynch syndrome is. And I believe that a lot of our responses and the way we treat each other as it pertains to that is a direct derivative of the Willie Lynch syndrome. And it's important for, we're going to talk about that one night, Shauna. That's the whole topic. That's the whole topic. Because it started, I don't even want to go there. Let's just pick this conversation back up on another day. Because I could go deep. I'm passionate about this. And I literally talked about this before. Colorism didn't just start it started in slavery. You know, they would have them high yellow women about your complexion, a little lighter.
It's based in white supremacy. It is a method, a tool to divide us. That's what it is.
Right,
that's what it is.
But before that came into existence, Willie Lynch laid the law down. He had a whole methodology. He had a whole methodology that would separate us from the men, first and foremost, because that's why we don't have the mutual respect that we need for one another. It was embedded into us to not even be on that level with one another. But in order for us to know what we gotta know where we come from, and we gotta understand the things that have happened to us to know why we even have operating in the mindset that we are.
Let me tell you something. First of all, my whole nickname is Red. My family calls me Red because of the skin color, for one, and because I had red hair. My hair is red. Like, it ain't really black. That's why you can really see the difference between this braiding hair and my hair. It ain't really black. It's like a sandy brown, and it was really sandy brown when I was younger, right?
Mine too.
So that's one. But number two, ever since I could remember, and I can remember back to when I was 3, you know, people used to say I used to talk white. And they really think that that's a compliment because, see, those people who say that, they think that everything white is right. They think that anything that you do that's of substance, anything that you do that's right, anything that you do that means something in the world, it gotta be white people doing it.
Come on.
And don't y'all know that it was our people who created language to begin with? Like, do y'all not know that? Do y'all not know that? So to say that I, who am, I think Ancestry said I'm 94% African, to say to me that because I got this skin color, that I act white, talk white.
Oh, I'm sick of hearing that.
Girl,
I am
do you
so...
know what? Look, and then in corporate America, it's rampant in corporate America because I can get on the phone and talk like this, you know?
Yeah, you know how to vacillate. You can vacillate. If we want to talk like a country girl, we can get country. We do it to everything. If we need to be professional and we need to be articulate, we know how to do that. If we need to be hood, we can vacillate back and forth there too. But I had one of your classmates, LaShonda, to tell me when I was younger, somebody had called her mom's house, and we were pretty good friends growing up. And this is, I'm not saying that because we're in a bad place. I'm just bringing it up as an example because I love the person I'm talking about. But her mom, somebody called and cursed her mom out when we were younger. And I remember her calling me, confronting me about it. And she said, well, the person talked proper that cursed her mom out. And I was sitting here like, and God knows, I love her mom with everything in me. I didn't do that, but how could you label it me because you said the person talked proper? And what does talking proper mean? Because I had, honestly, a person of another color to tell me that when I worked at, I was a scheduling coordinator for Health South in Columbia. And I used to schedule the nurses, the respiratory therapists, the LPNs, and the CNAs when there was this, when we were short staffed, and I would have to get an outside agency to kind of like a traveling nurse or whatever to cover when we were short staffed. And I remember going to one of the male nurses one night, and he told me that I was very articulate. So what are you saying?
Oh, I hate it. 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 Oh my God, I hate it so much. I hate it.
It threw me back. I couldn't even continue the conversation.
Oh my God, LaShonda. Oh my God, LaShonda.
Yeah, a part of me wanted to get real hood. Like, a part of me, I felt away, because what does it mean to be articulate in your mindset, in your perspective? Talking, and he was not an African American man. I'll say that. He was not an African American man. So I didn't know how to.
They pretend. Because they pretend, it's an insult, because they pretend to not know anybody like us who can talk the Queen's English, who can speak the Queen's English, who can, speak it better than them. First of all, it is a testament to who we are as a people, the fact that we have to not only exist and reside in our own heritage and culture, right, that we have created here in this country, because we don't have our own culture from the motherland, right? So that we also, but that we also have to learn theirs in order to exist and to be successful in the world. So if that don't make us qualified, what does? Because not only do we know about all of these Christopher Columbus and all of these things, not only do we, we know about John Adams and Mr. Hamilton and all of those, but we also know about Rosa Parks, and we know about, Kunta Kinte, and we know about, Mansa Musa, and we know about all of these people, So it's funny to me when I hear people say that, and I don't let people, listen, even in my training world, because I'm a trainer at my job, we get people's names like Chinarowski. That's not even spelled like you think it is. It's spelled with an S. Or we get Askandowski or Resnikowski. You can say those names, but you can't say LaShonda. You can say those names, but you can't say Waukesha. You can say those names, but you acting like you don't know how to say LaKeisha. You just being funny, sis. You just being funny, bro. And no, yes, I am articulate, but it has nothing to do with the fact that I grew up around your people, because I didn't.
Come on.
I didn't. It's just because I know English. And I'm thankful for Miss Ritchie, and I'm thankful for Miss Corwin for teaching me that. But even before that, when I was 3 years old, and my mama's first cousin, used to say, Shonda, say this word. And I would say it because I would hear how they would say it, and I would say it exactly that way. And it's just, it grinds my gears when people do stuff like that. Like,
Melvin, that is good. That is good, Melvin. My husband introduced me to Hidden Colors. I don't know how much of that he's watched, but it's pretty long. I'm gonna go back now. Let me write that down right now, because Mark introduced me to that. I just need to go back and look at it all, because it's pretty long. We all need, for the sake of conversation in the forward, we need to all be looking at Hidden Colors. That's a good one.
But I speak like this because I'm a reader. That's another thing too.
That's it.
I'm a reader.
Exactly.
I'm a reader, and ever since I was small, my mom used to buy these romance novels. I be telling this story, but she don't even know this. She used to buy those romance novels. As soon as one would come, I'd be there, get up in there, be done, read the whole book, child. Done read the whole thing. Knowing I ain't supposed to be reading some of these words, but I knew the words, so that way when I could read out loud in Miss Corwin's class or read out loud in Miss Ritchie's class, I knew what it was.
I mean, I don't know what you think about me. I don't know if these locks fool you, that, I'm some ignorant somebody. I don't know what persuaded you, but we could take it all the way back to 8th grade. Again, like I told y'all the other night, I won the Lieutenant Governor's Writing Award, not for my class, not for Bowman, South Carolina, but for the whole district, okay, my whole school district. So what you will not do is insinuate that I'm somebody ignorant. Now, I know how to act ignorant. I can act plenty good and ignorant, but I'm very intelligent, and I won't let you try to bring me down for whatever you think I may or may not be.
That's right. You better tell them, sis. Pop your collar on them. Let them know, Lieutenant Governor's Award winner. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
But also, let us be clear. Even if you don't speak like how we speak,
right,
doesn't make you
that don't make you qualifiable. Yeah. Don't try to try my people. Because if we want to be intelligent,
right. Yeah. Listen, that lady, on TikTok, she got a thing going. It's people will try to uplift you. People will try to belift you. People will try to sabotage you and stuff like that. Listen, y'all know what she was trying to say. Y'all know what she was trying to say.
They did it wrong now.
I got it.
They could see, watch the message and not the messenger, and don't get so caught up in the words, because you know what the words are. That's where we go wrong at. Get the message. Yeah. It's a lot of times why you don't want people watching you, because see, they got this false image of who you are. Get the message. Worry about the message.
I'm a whole person. I'm a whole rounded person. Sometimes, like we play with our friend Keisha. I call her sometimes when she get in her bag, I call her College Keisha, but she's also Pastor Keisha. She's also Keisha. She's also Key Lolo. Like, all of us have these alter egos or these places that are a part of us, right? That we go into for different purposes. I can't think of the phrase right now. Somebody put it in the comments, because I can't remember what it is. But you know, we all transform based on our audience, right? You know, so. And for me being a trainer, sometimes I have these people who they got a challenge. They got a challenge because they want to know, this little black girl with these braids, does she really know what she's doing? You know, she done come up in here with her afro. Sometimes she done come up in here with a wig. She done came up in here, you know, with her afro puff and all of this. Do she really know what she's doing? Did they pick the right person? Well, I will have you know they did. They absolutely did.
Yes, honey.
Oh, girl, we could go on and on and on. You know, this topic about social media and relationships, it could really absolutely take us the rest of our lives to really try to decipher and go through and, you know, acknowledge and talk about. There's just so many different types of relationships out here in the world, and all we're just saying is that communication is key. I love the words that you began at the beginning of this live, talking about intention, talking about purpose, and all of that. And really, you should have all of those things outside of social media as well. You know, what is your family purpose? What is your intention with your family? You know, how are your relationships evolving to whatever that is? Yeah, we absolutely know how to fit into any culture. That's why we're the greatest people, you know?
Absolutely.
We're the original people. And it bugs me sometimes too, and I know I'm about to get off topic again. It bugs me sometimes when people talk about, you know, the Bible is talking about Egypt and things like that. Where that at? Where Egypt at? Where Egypt at?
I mean, I could really answer that for you, but I don't know how.
Listen, it's in Africa, but see, people think that Africa is a country. Africa is a continent. Just like North America is a continent, and South America is a continent, Africa is a continent.
It is a continent.
You know, people forget that thing though. They forget that thing.
See, I was thinking from a spiritual perspective, because technically we're in Egypt.
Okay. Well, you want to say more, or we're gonna save that for another time?
We'll say that for another day, but we're in spiritual Egypt right now. I'm
okay.
I'm gonna leave that alone. Because honestly, I'm gonna leave that alone.
Listen, what's the lady name that everybody loves? Little white haired lady. Oh God,
And
what is her
is
name?
and is. That's the truth.
Oh, I can't think of her name. You know, they don't want you to know the things that that you should know about your people. Look, I'm so sick of you, Melvin. He done brought it right back to Jane.
Come on, Celestine in the vein. Celestine in the vein. She say Pharaoh's still holding us hostage. Come on, you know what I'm talking about. You know good what I'm talking about. Come on. Come on. They ain't ready for that conversation, Lim. I ain't gonna go there because I ain't gonna go there. They ain't ready.
No, look at my cousin. He done called back to our conversation about Jane and John.
Oh, Jane. Oh, Lord. Tell us what Jane did now.
No. Oh, wait a minute. No, no, Jane. Yes, that's what I'm talking about, cuz. Yes. What is her name? See, I'm sitting here thinking you're talking about Jane and John. We were talking about earlier, but no.
Shaniqua, you in the vein. You in the vein, Shaniqua. Come on, Shaniqua. I'm gonna tell y'all this. Let me just drop this scripture down in here for the sake of this conversation. And I'm going to let you go do your own homework and get your own imagination going. Because everybody ain't ready, and I ain't going to bring this kind of conversation to the table. But I'm going to tell y'all to go to this scripture, and those that is ready, we'll come back and talk about it another day. Y'all just go look at that scripture. And that's that on that. Jane Elliott, who's that?
Okay. Jane Elliott. I looked her up. Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. Her name is Jane Elliott. She's a white lady. She's a white-haired lady. Y'all go follow her. That lady is so dope. She talks about how dope Black people are. Like they got it so bad, y'all. They done manipulated the maps. They done manipulated the maps to make Africa look smaller than it actually is. Africa is like 6 times the size of North America, but when you look at a globe and when you look at it on a map, it doesn't seem that big because they want to decrease us on this planet. That's what they listen.
Ooh, Lord, Shonda, when we get offline, I know where we need to go, what direction we need to go in next week. I know good.
Don't get us started, because y'all know we be on this live about 3 hours. Now, I know we was a little late tonight because we started a little late, and then we had to switch back to the regular way to do live. So we done lost the hour, really. So this is still, within our 3-hour conversation. But y'all, go follow the scripture that Rashonda was talking about, but also, for you, people who are interested in history and things like that, follow Jane Elliott. She's one of us. She's an ally. So you don't have to worry about her saying or doing the wrong thing. She absolutely. Ooh, oh God.
Let's say, take us there. I'm ready. Shaniqua say, I feel my help coming. Lord, y'all don't get me started in here. Listen. Shonda forbid me to go spiritual on this live, so I'm trying not to. Ooh, Lord, that's another subject for another day. That's another.
Listen, that was our agreement. But like I said about marriage, you got to sometimes evolve. So we can talk about it. So, yeah, Miss Celestine, she said she's already following her. Yeah, so you already know about Miss Jane Elliott. Yes.
I missed it because I'm so busy. Shaniqua comment about I feel my help come and had me throw all the way off because I was trying to go in another direction. But tell me again about Jane Elliott. I think I missed the meat and potatoes on her.
She's an ally for us, right? We talk about allies and Hannahs, like Amanda Seals like to call them. We ain't trying to do the Karens, we're trying to do the Hannahs. And those and what she means is those are the people who really understand who we are on this earth, and I think that's really the fear, and that's why white supremacy. She does.
Oh, I know exactly who she is. Yeah.
And they said she's 89 years old. But
she be spitting that truth to them though. She be spitting that truth.
Oh my God. She tells it like it is. And then what I was saying was, she was telling how they try to decrease us so much globally. Like y'all think that white supremacy is just an American topic, that it's just an American thing. It is not. And we can see that by what had happened in Russia, in Ukraine. Black folks trying to get out. Just even go travel anywhere. And I promise you, with maybe some exceptions, but globally as a whole, it's not just America. That white supremacy is rampant everywhere. And one of the things that Jane Elliott was talking about is how they changed the maps. Everything on the map is supposed to be to scale, right? And so when you go pull up a map of a global map, like a map of the world, the way they make Africa look is that it is the same size as North America and South America. It is not. It is about 6 times the size of North America and South America. It's huge. But see, if they make it look like that on the globes, then you will know that you're their original people. Then you will know who you really are without having to know that you're from, the Mali peoples. And by the way, speaking of that, that's who my people is. And
mine too, Mali and Nigerian. That's my first two.
I talked about this when I did my family reunion. I did the welcome at my family reunion, and I talked about one of the most famous people in the world is Mansa Musa. Guess what his peoples were? The Mali people.
Wow.
The Mali people. So it's in your destiny, Rashonda. It's in my destiny, as a Mali people, to be prosperous in this world,
I'm gonna be honest. I'm trying to go back to my people eventually. I'm gonna be honest with you. Live off the grid. Y'all can have this old lavish life over here. Take me back to the planting my garden. You do well over there in Africa. You already in the vein. You starting to plant your own crops. And to be honest with you.
Oh my God, y'all! I got another cucumber that's about this big. I'm gonna probably take.
Bring it on the next live so we can see it.
Okay. I'm gonna show y'all my tower garden. I got probably one that I'm gonna probably harvest maybe Sunday. It'll be ready, and then it's ready now. But I mean, I'm gonna let it get a little bit bigger, not too big. And then I got a couple more, and then I got my peppers about to come in.
Yes.
Ooh, my peppers about to come in. I just saw blossoms this morning. I was like, okay, peppers, I thought y'all had done I thought y'all had forgot about me. I thought y'all was deciding that y'all was not gonna show fruit. But see, you know what? It's a word, Rashonda. See, when you think that something is dead or you think it's not gonna show fruit, all you gotta do is be a little patient. All you got to do is be a little patient. That's what gardening has taught me. When you thought that your plants had abandoned you, Lord, no.
Girl, you talking like God over here now. You talking like God. Because he said he had a little bit of patience with us. Because see, we probably didn't want to line up the right way like he wanted us to line up. But he had to have a little bit of patience with us. Just like you did with them plants.
Yes. Because see, if you done watered that seed, that seed got everything it needs to do what it's supposed to do. All you got to do is put it in the ground and give it a little bit of water.
And it's going to reproduce.
It's going to do what it's supposed to do. It's going to do what it's supposed to do.
Girl.
Take care. Till that soil a little bit. Give it a little bit of fertilizer. And let that thing do what it was ordained to do, what it was destined to do, child.
Get an amen in the back there, up there in the balcony. I need an amen. Or my husband gonna kick me out the house, y'all. He didn't tell me he was laying down for bed. And I'm getting loud.
Listen, mine done closed the door. He done closed the door. He know how I go. I'll be.
Look, back her up, Elder Mac.
I'm telling y'all, you know what? I'm gonna say this. I am really, I know we cutting up on here now. I am really a proponent of therapy. I really do believe that. I also think that there are some other things that do work for people. Meditation, reading, exercising, some people get pleasure out of just the quietness. Like I can get in the car, if I'm driving to Bowman, I could get in the car and not play the music, not play the radio, not have my phone connected, and I could just be in my head the entire time. and it does something for me. And that's exactly what I was getting to, is that gardening for me is just like that. It's something about putting your hands in soil. It's something about walking on the earth barefoot. It's something about taking care of something that grows roots, that grows up, and it feeds you. You
Right.
feed it, and it feeds you.
Mm.
It's something about doing that that's so good for the soul.
Mm.
And I would encourage any of you, if you don't do nothing else but grow you some herbs, grow you some cilantro, grow you some sage, you know, some what are some other herbs that people could grow? You can do those in your windowsill. You just any kind of thing to grow, and all you got to do is water. It don't take too much time. It don't take too much energy. It's just like I said, it's a seed, and you can just, you know, put it in some sort of medium, water it every now and then, and you're gonna get you some fruit off of that thing. And for that one seed, now this is a word, that one seed can have you harvesting a bounty of fruit with just the one seed.
Just imagine this one seed, this one conversation. How many people may be persuaded? Oh, I feel God for real. Some people might be persuaded to go and get mental health treatment.
Yes.
They may finally have gotten that push. They may finally have heard somebody that's not perfect say, you know what, I needed help, and I went and got some help. I couldn't, you know, I needed somebody to talk to, and I went and I got somebody to talk to. So you never know what we planting over here, girl.
That's right. That's right. And I'm saying that too, to wrap it on up and say that don't let social media be your downfall. If anything, use it like you use anything else. Use it as a tool tool to gather information, a tool to gather the people, a tool to help your community, a tool to help yourself to earn money. Yes, to entertain when you just want to, you know, sometimes we use our brain so much, and sometimes we don't want to use our brain. You know, I do that too. I'll watch something on TV just to zone out because I'm a thinking person, right? And sometimes I be too much in my head. Sometimes I just need that mental break, you know? So what we're saying is sometimes, bring it back to what you were talking about, Rashonda, don't let people's, you know, things that they post on social media, number one, trigger you, but number two, make you think that that's really how life is. I'm gonna tell you, if I never tell you nothing else, life ain't always what you think it's gonna be, but it's everything that you make it. It can be great if you want it to be great. It can be disastrous if you want it to be disastrous. It's all in what you make it. It's your perspective, and it's also, you know, you learning skills to deal with and handle other people, because in reality, the only person that we really can control is ourselves. But at least you are walking around, you know, as a warrior. And warriors don't always use their weapons. Warriors can also use their mouths, right, to speak and communicate. What you don't have to, maybe sometimes you need to use your shield, you know, because you ain't always got to be using your dagger. You can just use your shield to block certain things. And if you got to get off social media for an hour every day, if you got to put your phone down, things like that, do that. That's what the conversation is really about when we talk about social media and relationships. And as always, I'm going to let Rashonda end it. Anything else you want to say to that effect?
Why I got to be the one to end it? This your live.
Listen, we can leave it at that. We can leave it at that.
I want to answer Miss Celestine, because she did ask me a question real quick. She said, what was the book in the Bible you were talking about? Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68 talks about Egypt. Go look at that. But to get clarity, you got to go back to I would encourage you to read the whole book of Deuteronomy, because as a matter of fact, tomorrow, that's what I'm going to do. But in reference to the vein we were speaking to about Egypt, Deuteronomy 28 and 68 talks about Egypt. And I strongly feel we're in spiritual Egypt right now. A lot of people in mental bondage. And they have and I'm not speaking to everybody, and this is not a judgmental, I'm just telling you about the times we in. You know, we have a very, very poverty mindset. We would rather go and worry about buying Jordans. And I just want to give this disclaimer. I'm 43 years old. And I'm proud to say I've never even owned a pair of Jordans. Not that I wouldn't buy Jordans. I'm not down in Jordans. Yeah. But my kids have worn plenty of them. I'm not gonna lie, my kids have worn plenty of Jordans. But me personally, I have never worn any Jordans, and it's a personal preference. It's not that I can't get them. I choose not to buy them. And I'm gonna be honest, I've known some people, you know, they wear every sneaker that come out, but you open up their refrigerator and they barely got food in it. I got a problem with that.
Yeah.
Your priorities are not in order. And it's nothing wrong with looking good. It's nothing wrong with dressing nice. But I do those things after I make sure my necessities are taken care of. You know, yeah. There have been times where my money was low and I had to go, I think I went over a year or something without legitimately buying clothes. I was wearing what I could wear until I could do better. And I'm not ashamed to say it because I'm not going to ever try to live above my means. And I encourage you to do the same thing. Don't worry about the people around you. Worry about what you got going on in your household. And if you can't take no trips, because I had somebody say to me one day, oh, I want to take a trip, but I can't afford it. I said, well, if you can't afford it, wait till you can afford it. Don't try to do what you see everybody else doing, because you'll be the one left holding the bag trying to make it work, trying to make it work out.
I think it was the Reverend Dr. Jay-Z who said that if you can't buy it twice, you can't afford it. I think that's what he said. Dr. Reverend Jay-Z said that. But where I wanted to, you hit on something that I wanted to remind people of. If you have cell phone insurance and if you have car insurance and you do not have life insurance, then maybe you should reconsider. Maybe you should call that phone number that we have pinned in the comments, because
them people ain't coming up on our live next week, Shami.
But how you gonna be paying these people $6-7 every month for your cell phone, but you don't want to leave anything for your family, or even not even just to leave something, because life insurance is not even about it's not just about, you know, when you pass away. It's about mortgage protection. It's about income protection. It's about education expenses. It's about all of those things. So if you paying for car insurance, you know, and you don't have no problem paying for that because it is required of you, right? Then maybe you should look at your life as an asset. Maybe you should look at your life as a necessity.
Hold on, I'm coming right back.
Maybe you should look at it as a requirement for your family. I think, oh my God, Olympia, you said it right. It is one of the best ways to transfer wealth. There's only a few ways to transfer wealth. Do you want to hear about them? There's to inherit it. It is to inherit it, or it's to build a business. And my God, the other thing is life insurance. I can't say this enough, and I know I'm being funny with the voice that I'm doing, but promise y'all, there are so many people that wait until their family members in the hospital. They wait until their family members done got diabetes. They didn't wait till their family members done got heart and lung issues, bone issues. And then you want to call when your family member is on their deathbed talking about you want to get a life insurance policy. No, ma'am, no, sir, that's not how it works. Get it while you're young. Get it while ain't nothing going on. Use it like a bill that you pay. You pay them people your rent every single month and you don't have no problems about it, right? You get them people that $120 every month for that car insurance. You get them people that $7 every month for that cell phone insurance, but you can't spend $75 a month for your life insurance.
Hello, somebody. Hello, somebody.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah. And I'm not saying this, you know, it's not just about, you know, making money, y'all. It's about helping the community, because there were certain things that they have been, you know, putting out here in our families and in our communities, telling y'all that that's the good thing, and it is not. Because when grandma and grandpa died, they didn't put more into that policy than they ever gonna get out of it. $10,000 is not going to cover it. If you and your husband together make $100,000, why would you be getting a $10,000 policy? I don't understand that. Tell me why, make it make sense. Because if one of you passes away and the other one makes $50,000, how are you going to help pay those other bills if
You
that
can't.
that income is
You can't.
tell me where that makes sense. Tell me where that makes. And do you guys not know that when Queen Elizabeth died the other week, she was able to, well, her son, King Charles, was able to attain or inherit her fortune, guess what? Tax free. So what you need to do is be talking to some people who know a little something about it, a little something about financial services that can help you put something like that together. You know, and maybe you should call that phone number that's pinned in this here live. Anything else you want to say? It's back to you, Rashonda.
I just want to thank those that actually came tonight to support us and to help engage into the conversation about social media and relationships.
Yes.
Your comments, your questions have been extremely valuable. We greatly appreciate it. Um, we encourage you all to give us feedback on what you want to hear, the conversations that you want to hear. And just to be honest, eventually we're going to have it set up where if you want to ask your questions anonymously, you may not want everybody knowing that you're asking a very, sensitive question. We're going to have it set up. We have a moderator that will be able to help us filter those questions, and we'll be able to converse and vacillate back and forth and give you all the answers. Now that we know that Gwen, she's from our hometown, is a clinical therapist, and we know that we have Dr. Tamara Tarver, which is LaShonda and our mentor. We know that she also is a clinical psychologist. And actually, I also have a friend that is a psychiatrist. So we have plenty of backup to help you all get you referred. If you don't want to talk to any of these people personally, I'm sure they have a network of people that they can get you to. The intent here tonight, I just want to close with this thought. Your mental health matters. Stay in tune and in check with it. And it's nothing wrong with being in tune with your mental health.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank y'all so much for joining us. Make sure you're utilizing the on and off. If you see something, you want to talk about something, you want to post something. This live was so good. Y'all need to be joining them. Hashtag conversations with the Shondas. Hashtag the Shondas. Use that when you're talking about any pieces that you want to leave as a thread on social media. Make sure you do that so we can, interrupt this algorithm so that people like us can still connect. I love what somebody was saying on here. God sent connections. He did. He did. And we definitely appreciate you guys for connecting with us tonight. We'll be
I just
on
got to think
again.
before we go, Shonda, if you don't mind. I just
Sure.
love Miss Terry's spirit, her and Miss Celestine. I'm going to tell you,
Yes.
I really
Yes.
love y'all spirit. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm going to
The
tell you,
encouragement.
it's so much encouragement. And I'm going to tell y'all something. I didn't know these ladies from a can of paint until the women's conference. We were in the same connections with the same mentor. But when I tell you, I actually got the opportunity to connect with these women. These are real women of God. They have not a jealous bone in their body. They have been supported with us from day one. And I'm going to tell you, Miss Terry, you're going to keep prophesying about us in a talk show, and we're going to end up in one now. Because she said it again tonight, LaShawn. She said, beautiful queen, walk around. This is a talk show. I am just picturing you standing in front of the audience. We receive that seriously. And
I receive it.
we want everything that God wants for us. All you
Yes.
got to do is make one step and he'll make two. And
Yes. Increase my territory. Yes.
enlarge it, God. Enlarge it. Oh, God, I feel you. Uncharted territory in Jesus' name. I just want to say that.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. No, you're right. I'm glad you said that. And because they're, energy. While we don't see your faces, it's just the energy
Love you
for
too,
us. You guys
Erica.
are always very, you're always very encouraging. And I'm gonna tell you that's something that isn't said enough. People like to throw around that thing and say women can't get along, women can't, exist in the same space. That's not true. It's so untrue. It
Right.
is in our destiny. It is our heritage for the women to get together and do what we're doing, and not just the women, because sometimes we need to include, we need to have that Y chromosome in here mixed up in all of this too, to make sure we consider them as well, because they're a part of our story, they're a part of our journey, in whatever way they will have, and in what way we will have them. So
maybe you can bring your cousin on, and I know Mark was in agreement. I don't know how soon he's wanting to come on, but just to have some male perspective, because I'm sure they're getting a lot from the women's perspective through these conversations, because women are extremely vocal. And we touch on some very good bases as it pertains to social media, the do's and don'ts. So hopefully it gave men a good perspective.
Yeah, I love that. And whatever works for you, because my do's and don'ts list might not work for your marriage.
Right.
Somebody else's do's and don'ts list might not work, for me. So it's whatever agreements is in, and that can only happen, like we said, with communication. And so,
right.
Yeah, cuz I want you to come on and represent for the men. And being that, we love our men, and we want to be respectful of, that don't make us pick me's, because I promise you,
That's it.
I promise you, your girl ain't, So thank y'all so much. We'll be back on Tuesday, 7 o'clock. If we end up having to push it to 7:30, we will definitely make you guys aware. I apologize again for the tardiness.
Yes, we apologize.
And for the technical difficulties. We're going to figure this thing out. Y'all know this is just number 4, not just number 4. This is number 4 for us. I don't want to decrease nothing we doing. I don't like when people say that's they little, or that's just. No, we're doing this thing for real. And we've been consistent. Yeah, with intention and with purpose.
Right.
And the purpose, if you guys didn't hear, is because we want to connect with our community. We want to think. We'll think about Saturdays. We can't do it this Saturday because I do have a business, y'all, and I do
my
have
body needs rest. My body. I looked at myself on the last live. Shonda brought it to my attention, but I had already seen it in my thumbnail on the last video. I was exhausted, but I do feel that to whom much is given, much is required. So I am all about showing up for myself, because every time we come on this platform, we know that purpose is being fulfilled. We're doing what we're supposed to do. So y'all just keep us in prayer that we are able to keep this thing going. We've been getting a lot of good feedback as it pertains to what we're doing. We're not doing it for the accolades, but we're thankful that people are acknowledging that it is helpful. And you all keep coming back, and we appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank y'all so much. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.